Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there.
Christian. Arguably the most documented person in history. His antics have been witnessed by millions, with many always keeping a close eye on him, waiting to see what he does next.
Because all you do is make me feel sad and depressed.
He should love his mother. She misses him.
Hello, we're live on the internet. What do you want? Mom, hello.
I love the women outside.
Do not hate. Hate is not so good.
I want everything about my house off the internet!
Don't call anybody.
What? I'm after shit. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, whatever.
What made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Christian.
Never, ever Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Scuffed TRR tonight. Unfortunately, the owner and editor-in-chief of the REUPLOAD.com, Ethan Ralph, could not be with us this evening, so taking over hosting duties for now is 1/3 of the Killstream trio. It's me, Gator. Got Flamenco on tap. We've also got Ranbots in here tonight as well. We're going to be going over a little bit of history of Christian Weston Chandler, known affectionately to the rest of the internet as Chris Chan. We're also going to open the show by talking a little bit about Reset Era and the shit show that's going on there. Before we begin, though, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Patrick's for handing 10 Linos. 𝘴𝘯𝘰𝘳𝘵. Let me see if I can actually see the full name. No, I can't. He's given 27 Linos. Arcade Outpost 100, and Spencer Let me see if I can actually find the actual name here, because that's one thing that I wish D-Live would fix. I wish they'd actually show the full name. Yeah, 𝘴𝘯𝘰10091, Spencer 394. Thank you very much for the Linos. I'm going to go ahead and hop into on air here. All right, everybody can hear you now. Hey guys, how's it going? Oh wait, I want to make one quick change, real quick, that I think people will like.
It's
Boom.
right click to block.
There we go.
There we go.
How you guys doing tonight?
To block Rand? Why is Rand in the corner? What has he done?
Oh, let me just make one quick change at the start of the show. Kick Rand out.
I can't kick Rand out.
I think this actually works out pretty well. The overlay with the couch thing. I like this. And we have somebody that has technical know-how that can actually like do this, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's funny. And you've got it like angles and shit. Did you do that with CSS? Make it angled on the overlay?
No, it's actually a third-party plugin called. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's like 3D or something. I can't exactly remember the name, but it's a 3D plugin for OBS, and then I used a little bit of CSS fuckery to make the nameplates appear below the images and everything.
Very nice.
Yeah, I remember seeing the concept art for this. This looks really good. Really good seeing it actually happen.
Yeah, I was trying to set it up for Ralph, but I tried explaining it to him, and he was like, "I have no idea what you're even talking about."
This will look exceptionally well when we get the when Scuffed or when Twisted Graphics releases the rest of the profile picture stuff. I think that'll look really nice.
But I want to go ahead. No, go ahead, Josh.
Sorry, I was going to ask you to explain. I realized that while we were talking, you were talking to the crowd. So did you already explain the premise of the show? Because I've been informed that this is the first airing, and I was curious for a rundown or something.
Yeah, so
no, you go, Gator.
Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking primarily about Chris Chan, going over the Chris Chan documentary. Flamenco was real excited. He's been planning this for a while, talking to Geno Samuel for a while, so I thought it would be good to also bring you in, Josh, as another Christorian, an expert.
Yeah, that's what I got my PhD in. I'm a doctor now.
No,
Doctor of Christonomics.
You've probably said this already, but this was back before, I think, when I wasn't like a co-host. I might not remember this entirely. What was your position in Chris Chan stuff? Were you in PVCC or were you like a quickie admin?
I was an extremely late joiner. I was never an admin on the quickie. I never had any involvement with it's kind of weird. The situation with how the forum started was it was really originally called the Quickie Forums. And it was hosted on various free sites as a complement, as a sister site to the wiki, because CogsDev, who is the tranny tanky who runs the Quickie, or used to run the Quickie, didn't like the new people joining. So he was like, okay, we're going to take all the new people and we're going to push them onto this quarantine site that we're never going to pay attention to. And we're going to call it the Quickie Forums. And Champlin was the designated Tard Wrangler. And at some point, they started having hosting issues because of people reporting the site to the free host that it was on, and they would take it down. And after the third or fourth time this happened, I offered to host it because I just wanted to host a website and get practice with system administration. And after a year of me hosting it, I ended up taking on the responsibilities of the site as an administrator, and it's just gone from there. But no, I've never had any. I was a very late joiner. When I joined, it was like the slowest point in Chris's stuff because it was a little bit after Bob had died.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nothing was going on. It was just the lawsuit. That was the only updates we got. So that's why we ended up branching out pretty heavily, is because everybody was really bored with Chris at the time.
Right. But Chris was like a prime focus at the beginning, at least. Or,
yeah, he was the sole focus.
Yeah.
And we had very tangential related ones. I think like A-Log was a prime target as a split off, but it didn't really start growing until Jace. And after Jace, it just became free for all.
Are you talking about Jace Connors?
The Prius street racer who almost street raced Brianna Wu to her grave, and has given Brianna Wu, single-handedly gave Brianna Wu campaign material for 3 years running now.
That's why Wu did that freaking motorcycle video.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
no.
Oh, sweet memories. Also, remember when she left her house but didn't actually leave her fucking house?
And I gave Geno we were going to bring the guests on at 10 because we obviously have to address the elephant in the room, the trash fire that is currently going on at Reset Era.
Exactly. Let me see if I can go ahead and bring the thread up here. Let me see. There we go. Let me switch over to a larger view here. So this is Celine D. Sykes, who's the whistleblower that first kind of alerted everybody to what was going on. Now, the interesting thing about this is that once this person posted this thread, not long after, all of the Imgur images were reported and taken down by the website, so you can't see them. Yeah, unfortunately for them, they've all been archived.
It's important to mention that Imgur is the absolute worst shit to host anything with because they will take anything down upon any request. They don't have any kind of rules. It's just if somebody complains about something, it goes away. So never use Imgur for fucking anything. It's the absolute worst.
What's your premier image hosting platform of choice?
The Kiwi Farms.
Oh, well, yeah, duh.
I just tell people to upload things as attachments because it's I know it's not going to go away then.
There you go.
Yeah, and also the someone named Reset Era Takes has been archiving all of the posts too. So let me see if I can find some of these. Yeah,
I had previously followed them, and their shit's been blowing up today.
Yeah, this was when was this originally posted? This was 2 hours ago. It said this is from the same person, Celine D. Sykes. I've just been contacted by Lord Kano in the screen cap, and Lord Kano on Reset Era. He's pissed I talked about it, called me a crazy woman with mental health issues, and threatened me that one of them was going to sue me for public slander, I think she meant slander, if I release more stuff. He probably think I'm afraid. I'm not. Of course, he didn't make a single comment on the pedo stuff. And there's tons and tons of these screenshots. This is Drained Spirit, who was banned, talking about Lolicon. There's another person, Miss Galaxy, saying that you never met a pedophile and developed a friendship with them. This is just... And this stuff's apparently been going on since Reset Era began. They have a secret Discord where they've been sharing this shit among each other.
Here, I'll give
here's the archive.
any aspiring forum host a little bit of advice. The forum has no secret boards, it has no secret Discord channels, it has no secret chats, and we've never had any issue. Despite being like a huge drama website, we've never had any leaks from like the moderator board because we just use it to moderate, and we don't fuck children in there, and it just works. So my tip to anybody who wants to open a website: don't make like little compartments where you feel safe, because you're gonna end up embarrassing yourself horribly, like these fucking people, when it inevitably leaks.
And that's the like crux of it, is that it's like people, the damage control is like, oh well, this is just some random people being like spurgs on the internet, but it's like, well, no, these are your moderators and like the prominent users on your fucking forum.
It's all of them, isn't it? Like, I don't know who owns Reset Era, but I've been told that he was involved.
This is like an invitation-only fucking Discord.
Yeah, they've got, you can see they've got this person named Cadence of Vina. There's the Lord Kano that they mentioned, Heart Skips, and Eols. So these are apparently like pretty prominent members on the board, so they had access to this Discord. They were there when this shit was going on.
And don't forget, ostensibly everyone who set up Reset Era, you know, the owner and the senior moderators, they are ostensibly there because they didn't like what the NeoGaf guy was doing with his penis.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what exactly it was that happened with NeoGaf, where they're like, "Oh, this is unforgivable. We have to move on."
He had sexual harassment allegations. He got Me Too'd, and it was like for like really, honestly, some really mundane shit. Like he was overly flirty with some girl when he was drunk once, I think. Jim had it on. It was funny though because of the people who run
the culture on the site. Yeah, exactly. Where it's just like, of all the plays, because he was like a male feminist, and it's always funny when the male feminist turns out to be a fucking creep like Max Landis.
I mean, it keeps on happening, but it just does not stop being funny.
It's like a weak man's position to get pussy or something. Is the subservient attitude, and then it just turns out that they're all fucking creepy and weird and antisocial.
Strolls into the bathroom. Milady, may I have a crumb? Perhaps just a
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here. But let me read a little bit more of this post. So this was the original post. It said, "English isn't my first language, so excuse me in advance if what I say isn't perfectly well written. Feel free to correct anything if that can make it clear. The people I will speak about aren't pedocriminal per se, but they're certainly pedo apologists, or what I call pedo-minded people. At the very least, they use some dangerous pedo-apologist rhetoric. That's not the kind of people you want potentially to exchange or be close to minors at any point. As an incentive to read it all, I'm putting a quick summary of the problem. Basically, I found some pedo-minded people and pedo-apologists on one of Reset Era's most important and most secretive Discord servers. I went directly to Cerium, Reset Era's owner, and not only did he do nothing about it, but he defended them and blocked me when I confronted him about it. Those pedos are still active in Reset Era as we speak. Nothing was done against them by Reset Era staff. I'll back up every claim with proof and try to make it as clear as possible. Some little context. I won't disclose my real name, but I was a Reset Era member known by the pseudonym Celine D. Sykes. I won't lie, at first Reset Era was cool. Reset Era was never cool. It was mostly safe for a young woman who liked video games. I even intended to be a moderator at some point. That was before I discovered Reset Era was full of disturbed and dangerous people. Some weeks after I subscribed to the forum, I was invited to a super secretive community related to Reset Era. I was invited by a member named Lord Kano. After a quick exchange through Reset Era's private messages, I also became somewhat casual with Cerium, Reset Era's owner, even if I don't remember exactly when or how. Let's say we used to discuss things together for a couple of months. This super secretive community was a Discord server, because it always is. This Discord server was basically the back room of Reset Era, or a kind of Reset Era boys club. The red flags are already flapping in the breeze. A lot of the most active and prominent Reset Era members were, and still are, partaking in it. In this Discord server, you could find people like 𝘴𝘯𝘰𝘳𝘵, one of Reset Era's most prominent admins, who's very, very active in it. He probably has more than 2,000 messages in this server, and is online most of the time. Emily Rogers
he also will ban people and block them on Twitter if you so much as mention what's going on here.
Yeah, didn't he block Jim?
Yeah, he blocked Jim preemptively. It's like, oh, nope, I don't want any of that.
You didn't want to deal with that. And then the other people are Emily Rogers, one of Reset Era's most famous admins at some point, Matt Piscatella, an employee of NPD and one of Reset Era's VIP members, again a very active member of this server, Jaw Muncher, one of Reset Era's oldest moderators, and many more. And then, of course, the screenshots that I pulled up earlier are just proof of all of these people being in this particular Discord server. She continues and says, I'm only listing those above mentioned people so you know this Reset Era Discord server wasn't some random Reset Era Discord. It's important to, I think she meant premise, that the people I mentioned just above aren't the pedo-minded people I'll talk about. However, I'm still wondering if most of them did ignore what happened under their noses or not. I'm sure some of them knew, but for the rest, that's up to them to clarify. Still, I would found weird that among all these people, I was the only soul aware of the weird discussions on this server, despite being there for only some weeks. There was also some of the most active Reset Era members. So there's Caden Savina, Kano, Heartskips, etc. To give more context, the process for subscribing to this Discord server was quite locked and intricate. You had to be invited, then validated by mods and admins, wait for some time, and then there was another process to be able to browse the server. I don't remember the whole process exactly, but I remember it was a pain in the ass. Pretty suspect for a simple Nintendo Discord, right? Keep reading, and you'll understand why. To make a long story short, I quickly realized there was something weird on this server, and someone told me casually that pedo discussions were rampant on the server. He told it to me like I wouldn't care. Problem was, I did care, and I decided to dig a little. In my research, I typed 3 common keywords in the Discord search bar of this server: underage, pedo, and 16 years old. I had the time to type some others, but with those 3 keywords only, I found many proof of the pedophile tendencies, or pedo-apologist tendencies, of a group of persons among the most active in the server.
Jeez.
REUPLOAD. So, quick takes.
The vetting was very extensive. So the initial damage control of, oh well, these are just random people. It's not representative of our community. Like, you guys handpicked these people, you vetted them, and then they end up creepy. So what does that say about you?
Exactly. So they go through this whole process. It's like what, like a 5-step program to get invited into this Discord. They can't just claim, oh, these were random people not affiliated at all with the website. Let me bring this screenshot up a little larger. This is Hammerden. It says, some same pseudo on Reset Era talking about how ambiguous age is and how age is subjective. And there's the screenshot of him saying that very thing right there. Hammerden telling how a 16-year-old could look like Jennifer Lopez, but she was looking like an adult. Actually, she's a 1,000-year-old vampire. Jesus Christ. Hammerden again referring 32 years old, preying on minors as players and normalizing it. Jesus Christ.
Now, if I understand right, this is actually like the vetting process, as it were, for these types of people to find like-minded individuals. You know, they start off by saying sort of things which, in and of themselves, you know, aren't straight outing them, but they look to see whether they're going to get any pushback or enthusiasm from a potential recruit, as it were. You know, stuff like, you know, we don't really talk about how the age of consent is just arbitrarily set at 18. And if you get any pushback from that, you go, all right, no point carrying on with this person. Or if they engage you and go, you know what, I think about that myself, then you get moved to the next stage of sniffing them out, as it were. And these guys are engaging in that sort of classic behaviour. I've seen this sort of stuff with other places. That end up like this.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they were trying to curtail their user base to try to see what people thought. Trying to make sure that
the
they
World
were part
Health
of the
Organization was right, and gaming is a mental illness. That's what I've learned.
I guess so. Especially
This,
after
the
games done
fucking-
quick and all that shit.
The Pokemon communities, the Final Fantasy communities, it's like they're all fucked.
Yeah, and it's all happening at the same time too.
Any sort of niche community that like has a loud portion of its members constantly saying things like, don't associate us with X type behavior, always inevitably turns out to have a disproportionate amount of X behavior being exhibited by that community. And that's always the whole thing with the bronies. We're not watching a girl show because we're pedophiles. Okay, 6 months later, here's the Discord bronies like swapping around pictures of naked 10-year-olds.
Now, Josh, like this, yet again, it seems that you were 100% right with this. Just don't have private little chat room.
The issue is that with something like the Kiwi Farms, you have it because it's fun to run. There's no way that this shit's fun to run. Like Reset Era is a business. That's all it is. They run ads.
Yeah.
They get money to have ad-free experiences, and it's a business. And a website like that can be monetized. It's in the clear for monetization.
And also think about this. Reset Era also has a lot of prominent game journalists and game developers that hop on there just like they used to at NeoGAF. So not only are they making money, but they have these other people that are on this website that drive traffic to the website.
They have connections in the industry, and they probably make deals with publishers to get exclusives and shit. But it's not fun for them. So it's like, what do you get? What gratification do they get for running it? And the answer is that they get gratification by running this shit where they fucking meet pedophiles and probably seduce 14, 15-year-olds that use the site.
Well,
don't think that these people get a lot of satisfaction out of moral grandstanding, which is
no. I don't think these people even enjoy that shit. I think it's soul sucking to be one of these fucking vampires. So they gotta fuck children to build their mojo back up before they kill themselves.
Jesus Christ.
There's definitely money in it, and a friend of mine who always sends me the top tier links of a lot of gaming news and shit like that. His personal theory is that this sites like this are what's really kind of driving people who play Sony games will know. They really don't want big tittied anime girls on Sony. You have to go to Nintendo Switch for that. As insane as that sounds, you have to go to the Switch for shocking, not politically correct content. But
Nintendo doesn't listen to anybody.
Yeah. For better or worse, Pokemon on 4chan is still fucking burning to the ground.
Well, but it kind of reminds me of something that Jim Sterling said, and Jim Sterling is overdue for his own Me Too. It's coming. I can tell that shit's coming any day. But he described
his wife is some sort of weird.
No, he's fucking disgusting. His living situation is appalling. His days is coming. It's numbered because he's a fucking weirdo. But he
already have some. Sorry to interrupt. They already have some really weird.
He's a
comments
cuck
about sexual stuff. Oh yeah, that's right.
He's poly, and his wife and him are in an open relationship, and he's just disgusting. They're disgusting people inside and out. They're fucking horrible to look at. But Jim Sterling is a really good consumer advocate. I like his consumer advocacy stuff against loot boxes and shit.
He's definitely been a very good consumer. He is. This man knows about consuming.
By the way, I brought up on the screen the Reset Era ban bot, which is run off of Kiwi Farms. There's been a lot of people getting banned today.
Yeah.
If you actually go to resetera.kiwifarms.net, you can access the raw data. This is managed by a guy called Crunklord420. He is our resident.
That's amazing.
He is our resident crypto expert. The dude's fucking. He's like locked into that shit. He's like one of those weirdos who builds his own graphs to predict crypto trends and shit. He's really, really, really into that kind of shit. And he also really likes watching Reset Era, and I don't know why. So the resetera.kiwifarms.net it's something they've tried. He's described the efforts they've gone through to stop his bot from logging all their bans, and they've completely failed. So it's always a good laugh to see what kind of benign shit they're kicking people off.
So they're aware of it. They're aware of the bot,
actively combating it, and they're even banning people from linking it and shit on the forum.
That's amazing.
Well, they I think Jim did a video on them, and he starts it off with just examples, because whenever you get banned on this forum, the post it'll tell the person, it'll say like the post will still be up there, and it'll say user was banned for whatever. That's where the name comes from.
It's from in Zen 4.0. You can put a moderator action as a form of warning on a post to make it public, like this behavior is not welcomed in this thread. On the forum, it's very seldom used, and if it is used, it's just like quit moral fagging and shit. It's just stuff like that. For them, any action, they put it on the post. And that's why it's so easy to crawl the site and collect that information. And it's just like the shit they use. My favorite is they ban people for false equivalences that somehow justify homophobia or transphobia, and drive-by posts. So any post that they feel is not contributive to the thread, they ban you for. My favorite one is somebody posted, I remember I miss when we just enjoyed video games, and it's like banned 1 week, inflammatory drive-by post, and it's just like, oh, this poor guy, he just wanted to play video games, and he can't anymore. It's ruined.
So if you look in the show links, I'm about to play a clip that was taken from E3. I think a lot of people will remember this clip. Let me know when you guys have it pulled up, because I'm gonna play it, and it kind of illustrates maybe some of the problems that are going behind the scenes of some of these game devs and journalists at Reset Era right now.
Hey, is that 3-second clip, or is that something?
It is that 3-second clip.
All right, ready to roll, baby.
All right, I'm gonna start it right now.
Yes, that's what I wanted, the little boy. Yes, that's what I wanted, the little boy.
Yeah.
No.
So I wonder if there's more going on here behind the scenes. That's just one little example of it.
I mean, I get what he was trying to say, but no.
It came out retarded. Completely and absolutely retarded.
Bit of a Freudian slut there.
So that's kind of the beginnings of the Reset Era stuff. I know that it's going to continue to get worse, continue to evolve, and I'm sure by the end of the show, we're probably going to end up pivoting back to it to talk about the crazy shit that's gone on. But I want to, right before we get into the Chris Chan stuff, talk to Josh. Now, you've recently been in a bit of a tiff with Brandon Ike, former head of Mozilla and now the creator of the Brave browser.
His history is very interesting, and he's kind of regarded as a legend in web development because he was the guy who invented JavaScript, the backbone of the modern internet. He created it. Then he went on to found or co-found Mozilla Foundation, which created Firefox and added competition to a completely dominated internet, completely controlled by Internet Explorer, which ignored the W3C and their standards for, rules for how HTML should work. Internet Explorer just did its own thing and made everybody miserable because it was owned by Microsoft. Ike made Mozilla, made Firefox adhere to the W3C, made a better browser, and turned the market completely on its head. Now IE is the least used of all the browsers, right? Well, he was kicked out of his own company basically. On his,
for homophobia or whatever, because he donated to the Proposition 8 campaign.
Yes,
which passed.
Which passed, and it passed. Most people don't know this. How did California pass an anti-gay marriage bill? Well, the answer is Proposition 8 banning gay marriage appeared alongside Barack Obama in 2008 on the election. So all the black people who showed up to the polls to vote for Barack Obama saw, should gay niggas get married? And it was like, no, fuck that shit.
Hell no.
Hell
Miss me with
nah.
that shit.
Well, to be fair, Obama was also pretty much against it too. But then, when the Supreme Court decision came in, they were like, "Oh well, shit, we're all about this now. We're 100% cool with it. We're just gonna
our views have evolved
to vote for defense against the Defense of Marriage Act. We're just gonna pretend that never fucking happened."
Yeah, he lost his job because of it, and just kind of became like a drifter for a while. And in that time, he developed an interest in crypto. And his answer to the question, how do you bring crypto to the average internet user, was to take Chrome, remove Google from Chrome, and then add in a Ethereum token called Basic Attention Token, or BAT, and try and remove, it has built-in ad block, and his idea is remove advertisements from websites, but then allow people to earn basic attention token through various activities, including watching ads, and contribute that money as they see fit to their favorite websites. And I'm completely in love with the idea. The problem is, and this is why we've gotten Kiwi Farms is no longer able to receive money from people through the BAT system, and it's a complicated reason why. Brendan Ike and the Brave Software Foundation found that we were promoting violence. And I don't know how. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the Christchurch video, which is, it's a detriment to his company. It hurts the ecosystem if people get banned from it. But the real reason why he has to ban people is because of how the banking is done. If there's any kind of scare and Brave and Uphold loses its banking infrastructure, then they can't process any money, and that's the entire business gone. And it has everything to do with the Patriot Act. And the Patriot Act know your customer demands, and how the Patriot Act requires banking companies to aggressively and proactively seek out money laundering. So the language of the Patriot Act is so strong that any company that handles money between two people is just so afraid of getting fucked by the FEC that they have to take precautions like this. And it's a shame, because without it, it would just be two people exchanging money on the internet, which should be as easy as that, but it's not.
Now, I've got a clip here. This was clipped by T-Clips, and I'm going to play a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but it's from your stream earlier. I posted it in show links if you want to pull it up, and we'll all watch it.
Yep.
All right, let me know when you have it pulled up, because I'll go ahead and start it.
Just right from the get-go? Right from
yeah,
zero?
We're going to start it from 0, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I bathed recently in my hands. I can't snap. I need more grit on my fingers. But bam! Fusing, and even after talking to Brendan Ike about this, I don't know what the fuck I'm actually banned from. So this is my wallet, right? This is my wallet. I have $4 in BAT from ads on Brave. And as you can see on the bottom, it says 12.2 basic attention tokens worth about $4. And then in the grants area, which is usually collapsed, I click to expand it. It says 12.1 BAT earned from ads. And he told me, obviously, the token itself is a cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency isn't centrally managed. So he can't theoretically ban me from sending money or receiving money through cryptocurrency. All they can do is ban me from their affiliate system, which is fine. That's why the brave.com/kiwi06 URL does not work anymore, because I'm banned from that. But when he described it, he basically told me that money from ad revenue wouldn't be considered a part of the user's money. It would still belong to the foundation. So to interrupt, this is wrong. It took me...
I'm going to pause it at 128.
It took me a while to actually fully understand how it worked, and he was being intentionally ambiguous, because the answers he was giving in regards to what the ban extended to were very diplomatic and kind of legal because of the Patriot Act. The goal of what he's doing is he wants the Brave wallet to be, it wants to essentially meet the user friendliness needs of a general layman audience just using a browser with the legal requirements of the federal government. And that's really fucking hard to do. It's because what he's aiming for is basically PayPal. But even then, like, getting onto PayPal is a massive pain in the dick. They need to know everything about you. And then they're completely unregulated themselves, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with their money.
They need your social security number, they need your address, they need your name, they need literally everything about you. And yet they're completely unregulated, so I mean, they could technically do whatever the hell they want with that information as long as the government doesn't find out.
Well, they do. I'm sure they sell it and stuff, but they also, like, they can take your money. They're not a bank. PayPal is not a bank. They can take your money, and they do. If you have a high transaction volume, they will lock down a portion of your funds as a insurance against fraud. So they've had issues with like small businesses getting a huge influx of business, and then they take $40,000 and lock it down just as insurance. So PayPal is awful, and you don't want to be PayPal. You want it to be a browser that people can open up, watch ads, collect money, then distribute that money to their favorite channels to get around demonetization stuff. So, but he was explaining this to me in such a way where it was very confusing. And as it turns out, the distinction between where the money comes from in terms of it being a grant from the software or a grant from watching ads, it doesn't really matter. You can't send money to the through that tip screen that's on the page.
Yeah, I'm going through a little bit of the thread right now. This was a response to J Venom on Twitter. Brandon Ike said, "Read the terms; they are clear enough. No free tokens for violations of Section 5, and decisions are final." He also said that we don't discuss these decisions. You should not play dumb either.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like he refused to say that what it was. Like I don't know for sure. I could wager a guess, and my guess is the Christchurch video, but I don't know. And the really scary thing is that this is a project that I personally want to succeed. But on the other hand, if I come out and propagate this information, right, that creates FUD, that creates doubt in the crypto community regarding the value of the basic attention token, and it crashes it. So on one hand,
people are going to be worried. People are going to be worried that they're just going to suffer the same fate you did because they just said one thing or made an off-color joke, and now, bam, you can't receive BAT.
And it's unfortunate because I'm in an awkward position where I've been slighted by the system. And on the other hand, I'm a supporter of the system. So what does that make me? I don't know. So I'm trying not to be too harsh, and I've had the opportunity to talk with him and try and understand what's happened. And I'm much more in the know than I was yesterday. But like yesterday, I was just so frustrated because it wasn't clear why I was banned. It wasn't clear what I was banned from. He still, to this day, like even now, denies that the language is banned. But it's like, okay, you're prohibiting people from sending tokens that they don't actually own to me because my publisher status is infringing on your terms of service. Like, I don't know what actual rhetoric you want me to use to describe this, but the most succinct that I can think of for being prohibited from participating in something because I violated terms of service in some way is a banned. I think that's fair. I don't think that's unfair to him.
Yeah, somebody actually tweeted at him. This is W0RP Warp. He said, "You see, there's a platform, and someone is no longer allowed to use that platform due to social pressure from an embarrassingly small number of people, but they weren't deplatformed. It's simple." Brandon Ike responded and said, "No, you're talking about restrictions on using our pool of tokens, an optional feature on the platform. We have not deplatformed anyone. Buy your own tokens and tip with them. Test for yourself."
Okay, that's true. If you as an individual want to open a Uphold account, complete the Know Your Customer compliance, and then buy basic attention tokens, I believe you can still send those to people. I mean, the actual token itself is not affected by this. The Brave ecosystem, the Brave wallet, the Brave advertisers, the Brave publisher stuff, that's actually not on the blockchain. That is centralized, and you can be banned from it. So his answers are very diplomatic, and they're geared towards protecting the value of the currency. I am, as far as I know, the first person ever banned from Brave publishers. So there's an effort to save face.
Well, I guess there's a little bit of honor and dishonor in having that happen. It sounds like to me that what they've done is they've created two different ecosystems where they have a controlling interest over these BAT tokens that you get from advertisers, and so they can determine who's allowed to get them and who's not. And then they've got this other ecosystem which is completely separate, where you can just buy them and give them to anybody.
That's a way to look at it. The blockchain can't be moderated at all. So the actual transfer of Ethereum, there's a special designation for it, but the actual basic attention token cannot be moderated by any central force. the Brave stuff is harder to describe because any way I try to describe it would be legally incorrect because of the precarious situation that the Patriot Act puts any kind of crypto company like this. And in essence, you don't ever own any of the tokens that you get from ads. You get a grant from the company, and then at your request, the grant will be sent to honor a publisher so that they can receive money from Uphold. But technically, Brave never touches money ever, never gives money, never sends money, never sells money, never buys money. It reminds me of when I went to Japan and we went to pachinko. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in Japan, gambling is banned, and pachinko is like, you don't just go there and put your money in the slot machine. What you do is there is a little stall outside of the pachinko area where you go and you give them your yen, and then they give you like a placard. They give you the chips, and then you go inside, and they just so happen to accept those chips as the currency for the slot machine. And then when you're done, you cash out the chips, they give you the placard, you go back, and the stall outside is also buying these placards, so you get your yen back. And it's kind of like that, where it's like you never once actually gamble with real money, but it's set up precariously enough where that's in essence what it is. And
well, it's how it works in video games too. There's a lot of video games where you take real life currency, you convert it into the magical video game currency, and then you roll the dice on loot boxes. And some games actually will allow you to take the stuff you get and then sell it back for in-game currency, which can be traded for real money or like extra time in the game. I know EVE Online is built entirely on that idea.
Is Geno actually in Japan? Somebody is saying that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go play pachinko?
I really don't want to. I've never done that before, and I really don't.
What the fuck? Oh, you're missing out.
You live in Japan and you've never played pachinko.
Not interested in that sort of stuff.
There you go.
I think you prefer keeping your money.
It's not that fun. It's so fucking loud in those buildings. Those machines are so fucking loud.
I know.
There's so much light
in one building.
So much light and noise. I get overstimulated. I have to fucking leave and hug my security blanket, my weighted blanket, to calm down.
All right, but now that Geno is here, hi, welcome to the stream. It's great to talk to you.
He's just like, I don't have any.
He doesn't have any takes on what's going on.
I have nothing to say. No opinion whatsoever.
Doesn't care about the reset era pedos. Doesn't care about crypto. Doesn't care about Brave.
I'm not interested in that stuff. I'll involve myself in that controversy.
So I guess the most important thing is to talk about what brought us all together on this podcast. A certain artist in Ruckersville, Virginia, one Christian Weston Chandler. I guess I want to ask the two of you, when did Chris first come to your attention?
Me, I think was around. I guess it was around 2011, and I was exploring B and 4chan for the first time, being an edgy teen, and I think that was around the time that his father Bob died. So that was about like when the quiet era really started.
Yeah. Right. I because I remember I think Josh said the same thing about like right when Bob died, and this was because he had gotten kind of things have gotten quiet. The updates weren't nearly as frequent. I like encountered stuff about Chris like in early 2009, like right in the middle of the Liquid Chris saga, the one that you're just covering now, which is possibly one of my favorite of all the sagas. But so it's kind of interesting that you guys both kind of came to the party a little bit late. I mean, there's still like an insane amount of stuff afterwards, but that was back when Quickie used to have the article of the now, I believe.
No, I think it still gets updated. I'm pretty sure Alan Purdue still updates that. He still managed it. There's like a
not the article of the now, the update.
I think the update was canceled recently.
Yeah. Really? Oh my god! Because I think Alan was updating that as like he's like the last one at the bar that turns out the lights before leaving.
think it just redirects to the quickie or I mean for the to the quick. Goddamn, to the Kiwi Farms, I think now for all the updates. So with the updates anymore.
Yeah, I found Chris right at the start of like it was his first hearing with the hit and run with Snyder. I think was when I found Chris.
Yeah, it was a while before I discovered all of this shit. I remember, I actually had some friends telling me about the creepy Sonichu guy. Went and started reading some of the threads and laughing my ass off. And then I stopped paying attention to it for a while, and then it blew up and became a thing again.
Yeah, I got linked to it way before I got into it. I just looked at it, I'm like, okay, this is fucking stupid. Who the fuck cares? And then I came back to it at some point. I just started reading it. I'm like, this is insane. This is completely demented, and I just couldn't stop reading it.
It's
in
amazing.
retrospect, your first instinct might have been the best one. This is fucking stupid. Just walk away.
It's true.
Just turn off the screen and walk away.
I would still be a fucking software developer in Australia doing payroll or something.
Yeah, so and about that, I just want to real quickly ask, you know, you've built your community pretty much around Chris Chan. And I believe on one previous episode you mentioned that people have actually like met up in real life and gotten married and shit because they met on Kiwi Farms.
Liquid Chris and what the fuck was her name?
Casey.
Casey.
Yeah.
Casey. Yeah.
They got married, and it's the most unfortunate thing. Geno, did you in your investigation, did you ever come across the picture of Casey in real life?
Yeah, she's gonna be coming up in part 15. Yeah, that photo.
She's a hideous dump truck of a woman.
I think we owe the chat a picture. Let me see.
I've actually never seen Casey before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
All right, give me a sec.
Yeah, I think we have to pull a picture up of this person to let everybody know what you're talking about.
Do you know? Oh my god, I see. Oh, found it.
Let's just say
Farms.
she doesn't really look like the way she sounds.
Oh, she has a pretty attractive voice. I'll admit that.
You should. Oh, Josh went to the green room accidentally.
Okay.
There you go.
I clicked supporter chat thinking that was show links, and it was not. Okay, this is. I have it. And have you seen this before, Gator? By any chance?
I have not. I have never seen this person before.
Okay, you're in for a treat.
Treat, you say?
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Oh wow!
Oh my god! Hold on, I gotta pull this up on screen.
I got nothing but good news.
Oh, there we are.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Why does that look like it was shot in like the 70s?
I think it's just the kind of like Santa Claus outfit she's got on. and the lighting too. Yeah, it does look like a 70s picture. I don't know. It's like the lighting and the decor.
It's that Instagram filter, that blue tint.
It's Gretel, just after Hansel and Gretel managed to escape out of the witch's fucking candy house.
Looks like she ate Hansel.
This picture is not even given justice just looking at it, because you have to remember in context, and I don't know if anybody except Geno knows these calls, where she's telling Chris, like, Chris, you have to exercise. I'm a doctor, and I know a whole lot about fitness and health, and you got to work out. You got to do more. You got to get up and move.
That's right, because
you can't be my boyfriend if you're not fit.
Because like her father also like her quote unquote father also does the Chris calls, and that's what led him to like I like lifting weights by like putting 12 packs of Fanta over his head.
No, you know those little areas where you grab a 12 pack and you pick it up. He was lifting that like dumbbells, like curls. He was doing reps of curls with Fanta packs and shit.
Jesus hey, he's got to get on my level and start using kettlebells. That's what I started.
Now, before we go any further, can we prove that this is biologically female? What we're looking at? Because people are having doubts, and like, I'll be honest, I'm having some fucking doubts.
This was before the trans stuff. This was back in a more innocent time where ugly women were just ugly women.
Yeah, I was watching the
days.
Chris Chan documentary, and it seems like Chris was actually on the cusp of a lot of different phenomena we have to deal with today. Like, Chris might actually be the first brony.
He was the first brony. That's true. He was. I have always. This is the most progressive I've ever been. When Chris first started saying he wanted to be a woman, I was the only person on the site who said, you know what, that sounds about right. Because this motherfucker has been into girl shit since he was in fucking middle school. He's always played with girl toys. And he's always had an adoration of femininity. He's always been closer to his mother than his father. He's always wanted to be a house husband, to stay at home and take care of the kids. He's always wanted to be the female in a relationship with a woman. And when he comes out and says, I want to be a woman, I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't doubt it. And everybody else is like, that's a fake tranny. He's a fake tranny. He's a blight. He's besmirching the good name of the transgenders. I'm just like, no, this nigga legit. He wants to be a broad, man.
I think especially if you go back, because I got to about part 4, but you can kind of see, I have to give Geno Samuel credit. He really is good at kind of weaving in the narratives of future Chris freakouts into the past, and you can kind of see he starts to create these characters that are based on him, but they're female. You can kind of start to see the signs start to pop up.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of foreshadowing, and like, you know, when the whole trans thing happened, if you really know the history and all the emails and all the private messages that he was doing, is like, well, duh, of course that happened. You could see from like 2007 onwards. It's about the signs.
Didn't he at some point say something like he did the whole like I'm a lesbian in a woman's or I'm like
he
a
still
lesbian
does that.
Man. Yeah, but like he did that like
way
like,
before
2007, I think.
Yeah, well, that's why people are giving me shit for saying the good name of trannies, but this is back in like 2012, 2013, way before the whole transgender shit was a thing.
Right, before we got like trans trenders and stuff like that.
He's so autistic that all the weird autistic shit that's just the norm now, he was doing it like authentically. And it really gives you insight into why people do this. And I've always held this position on trannies specifically because of Chris, where Chris realized he did not have the physical or mental faculties to be what is required of a good man. And he defaulted to wanting to be a woman because he thought in his head it would be easier. And I am very certain, very certain that most trannies today just want to be women because they think it's easier and they know they would never be a good man. And I've developed that opinion watching Chris, because Chris is like, he's like a stem cell of weird, crazy shit on the internet. And if you get a good grasp of what he's up to, you can apply that to other people who are more complicated than him.
So I want to play a brief
for Let's Players too.
That is true. He did predate DSP,
and he even used a capture card.
Did he?
Really? I thought he used a camcorder like DSP did.
No, he didn't. It was a direct capture of the gameplay.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Well, if there's, I think I can think of the definitive difference though. Like Chris Chan beat off on the internet on purpose.
Kind of.
Ooh boy.
Sorry for interrupting you, Gator. What were you saying?
Yeah, this will be a perfect time to take a quick segue. I want to say Peking Culture donated too and said, post your pinky, Gator, please. I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know what you do with those pinkies. But I want to go ahead and play a clip from Geno Samuel's documentary. This is from part 2. I've posted the clip with the timestamp in show links, so let me know when you guys have the clip brought up here.
I'm ready.
And it'll be at 32:24. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, we're going to play it in 3, 2, 1, go.
In July, Chris began going to the Charlottesville Fashion Square, attraction sign in hand, to seek out fellow mates. Evidently, his current practice did not yield promising results, as in a diary entry dated August 1st, he announced, "Well, it's another month. Still no girlfriend. But I have a new idea that I am sure will reel in a girlfriend on a fateful red string. The idea concerning red string consisted of Christian tying a red string to a paper heart on which "Pick me up and bring me to my owner" was written. The significance of using a red string was most likely a reference to its appearance in the anime Excel Saga, and is a well-known symbol in many Asian cultures. Christian would throw the heart at prospective partners and hope that they would pick up the heart and follow the red string leading back to him. It cannot be determined how successful this strategy could have been, because just 4 days after he employed the red string of fate, a mall security guard, which Chris referred to as a jerk-op, put an end to it. In August, Chris shifted focus away from Pokemon and centered his attention on Yu-Gi-Oh!, a similarly themed card game. He began making his own custom cards and attended his first Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament at the game place, where he met Megan Schroeder. Over the months of getting to know Megan, I grew fond of her. Although at that time, and up to now, she wasn't interested in a lovely relationship, I've bided to her wishes and requests. I am truly fond of her. Since he and Megan had Yu-Gi-Oh! As a common interest, Christian only intensified his obsession with the game, creating more and more custom Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, with one depicting Crystal, Christian's make-believe female twin. He also designed a girlfriend's gift card, on which the illustrated girlfriend looks suspiciously like the sister. On September 4th, Christian reflected on his love quest so far. While I was at the mall for the 8th week today, I realized something. Since I have been using a sign to state my being single and lonesome towards an 18 to 22-year-old boyfriend-free woman, I, in the event, was trying to sell myself like a new car. 2 days later, Chris's love quest was interrupted by a jerk-op. I told that jerk-op off when I pulled some of my fun cards and told my lonesome virgin story, intimidated him, and shouted no into his face. In short, today was my Independence Day, but I am still alone. On September 11th, his search for love took a turn for the worst. I was not bothering anyone at the mall today while I was trying to sell myself, when I got arrested for trying. I fortunately did not go to jail, but I have been stripped of my right to go to the mall by myself. I would be required to bring my mom or dad with me. My independence and my soul were practically murdered. Chris's run of misfortune climaxed when only 5 days later, the school board of PVCC suspended him for 1 year. My dad is bloodthirsty for revenge as well. He's going to write to US President George W. Bush Jr. and Laura Bush to help me get allowed back to PVCC. We all curse to death upon that XXXXX Mary Lee Walsh. In conjunction with his suspension, he was required to take anger management classes, get a psychological evaluation, and receive social skills counseling. 10 days after the event, he lamented over his inability to go to PVCC or the mall, and confessed that he would be asking for a girlfriend this Christmas. Despite his bans from the college and the fashion square, he decided to continue with his search for a boyfriend-free girl, but relocated to the University of Virginia's campus to do so. However, this move wasn't for long, as Christian was allowed back to the fashion square in November. Regardless, he went back to UVA for a different kind of engagement, in the form of a mandatory psychiatric evaluation. There are more of such documented examinations in existence, but this is the only one so far which has been made public. Mr. Chandler says that since finishing high school and starting at PVCC in the year 2000, he has had an increasing interest in a female companion. His attempts at this ultimately led to his suspension from college. His attempt took the form of a sign, which he placed next to himself while sitting in the lobby at Piedmont. This sign was a list of qualifications that a potential girlfriend would have. He said that he has been very frustrated by his inability to find a girlfriend, and he suffers from noviophobia. This refers to his frustration that females often tell him that they already have a boyfriend. While he does have physical attraction towards females, his primary frustration is with his lack of companionship. The report mentions his medical record and earlier evaluations. He has already undergone psychological evaluation by Robin Hawks at the Center of Learning Potential. The recommendation concerning Mr. Chandler's emotional status is that he seek psychiatric and psychological treatment. The psychologist felt that counseling and medication would possibly address his obsessive thought pattern and assist him with social skills. She also recommended anger management training. The analysis also comments on Christian's appearance and demeanor in the session. The patient is a mildly overweight white male, wearing blue jeans and a shirt. He was also wearing a makeshift necklace that has a large plastic medallion in the shape of a Pokemon character's head. He also had a number of shrinky-dink decorations attached to this necklace. He had a large backpack that he carried with him, and had a notebook containing a large number of drawings. His speech was somewhat nasal, with frequent, awkward laughing during his sentences. His speech was fluent. His responses were appropriate to the questions posed to him. Overall, the volume of his speech was slightly elevated, although his tone was generally pleasant and almost jovial. His thought processes were linear and logical. He was somewhat concrete, especially regarding social interactions. He seemed to have a good insight into his limitations. The attending physician offers up his final verdict. Folstein's score was 30 out of 30, with his sentence being, "Uncle Spunky is a really funky monkey." Mr. Chandler is a 22-year-old man with a history of
Flamenco. He also
developmental
likes
delays
monkeys.
and autism. Despite these limitations, he seems to have been quite successful in maximizing his academic abilities. He is left, however, with a severe degree of social awkwardness, and seems to have good insight into this. He is left feeling somewhat frustrated, as he has a strong desire for companionship, although his social limitations prevent him from being able to realize this in the way which he would like. The patient doesn't seem to pose a significant threat to himself or anyone else. After the evaluation, Chris carried on with life, much like before, with neither him nor his parents making any significant effort to change his ways. But Christmas was soon approaching, and maybe Santa would bring him a girlfriend like he wished, who could right all his wrongs and change his life for the better.
So that's the end of part 2. I just wanted to show a little clip to show everybody the really amazing production value and the research that went into this. There's 14 parts right now. What actually got you, Geno, started on making this series about Chris Chan?
I got back into Chris Chan at around 2017, summer 2017, and I got really obsessive about Chris Chan and started watching lots of videos about him, lots of documentaries and whatever podcasts and talks about him, and reading the Quickie, of course. And I felt like this would be a lot easier if there was like a Quickie video, basically, just a really comprehensive overview of what happened in Chris's life. And since it didn't exist, I decided to make it myself. That's basically what started it all.
Well, that's one of the most difficult things, I guess, about like parsing through the entire history of Chris Chan, because his entire story is told through a series of phone calls, documents, accounts of like interactions with him, and YouTube videos, some of which I don't think exist anymore.
Yeah, some don't. Yeah, there's a few Chris Chan videos that don't exist anymore, and there's some others that were made by trolls that are referenced by Chris and in the Quickie, but they don't exist anymore. So it's a bit.
They got taken down because I'm sure somebody has them somewhere. Probably old PVCC users and old Google Drives and stuff. But large channels dedicated to archiving stuff got deleted by YouTube for no reason.
Yeah, actually, back when I was making this stuff last year, there was a YouTube user that sent me a link to the phone call between Clyde Cash and Liquid Chris, which does not exist, I think, anywhere else. So I uploaded it recently onto YouTube, and it's back on the Quickie now.
Oh, nice. Now you produced this, I believe, like the bulk of the videos last year, and you just recently released episode 14. Now, I remember like some of it was due to mental stress from like dealing like deep dives into Chris, because it is a very dark subject, but it was also had something. Was there also like something to do with YouTube like striking you or something?
Oh, that was the main reason, really, because it was my mistake to be to seeing dollar signs when I was making this, because that was the wrong idea. Because I applied to get my channel monetized, And soon after, I realized that was a really big mistake, and I couldn't unapply it. So when the time came for someone from YouTube to check my videos and see if it was okay to monetize, I said nope, bullying, no, three strikes. I got 3 strikes in one day, and I was out like that because I was promoting bullying or whatever they said.
What was frustrating is at the time, I was talking to Chris a lot because of the extortionist people. And people blamed both me and Chris for this channel getting taken down. And I asked Chris, like, did you report these videos? And he's like, no, I've seen them and they're good.
What? Yeah, that's the interesting thing is that I also, when I went onto Geno's Discord, I noticed that you have a very similar position for that Josh has, is that like don't like organized fucking with Chris on this platform.
Yeah, of course.
The prime directive, as it were, watch but don't interfere.
Yeah, just don't touch the poop, basically.
Now, Josh, you said on a previous episode of the Kill Stream that while you were trying to help Chris, apparently he leaked your burner phone number like everywhere.
Oh, he leaked one of my like local numbers after my move. He like leaked that to random people that were in contact with him. It like Chris, you can't help Chris, and it's really frustrating because we had gotten him to a point where he was surrounded by people who weren't going to put up with this dimensional merge hallucination bullshit, and it was like 6 people who would talk to him anytime. And my personal rule as like a parent was, if he talked about anything having to do with alternate universes or the dimensional merge, I would ignore it and exclusively focus on what he said that was real. So he's like, I went to McDonald's, but on my way I passed through the portal to the Nexus, and I ended up in the McDonald's universe where Sailor Moon was eating French fries and fucking the Hamburglar, and then I exited and I had a cheeseburger. And I'm like, oh, when I go to McDonald's, I get the Big Mac. I get the Big Mac too. And that would be my response. And everybody else was on board with this, and that's how we approached it. And he became very bored. He didn't want to talk about real things. He only wanted to talk about fictional things. And when he went online to find people who would indulge his fantasies, it was very easy to find that. And all the people who had done work to help him were replaced by people who wanted to treat him like some kind of fucking pet and indulge these fantasies while it amused them as like a joke. Like it was like young kids who were like, guess what? I'm friends with Chris Chan, and I'm gonna get him. I can get him to talk about Ted Bundy chew, and then they'd all throw in. It's like some kind of like soggy biscuit where like all these fucking kids would just jerk off and throw their own anime ideas into his fantasies, and he would adopt them and treat them as completely true and run with them as if they were his own ideas. And
so what it sounds like is the Zoomers discovered Chris Chan, and then the Zoomers decided to kind of become a part of his life a little bit.
Well, it's just anytime anybody finds about Chris and they want to get in contact with Chris, it usually nothing happens. But when he's, for some reason, the last year or two, he is at a point where he is extremely impressionable and desperate for people to want to talk to him that will indulge fantasy. And all he gets when he looks for that shit is like abusive fucking weirdos who will take advantage of him. And it's like at a certain point, I known him for like 6 months, and he was just starting to break off and do this weird shit. And I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I got my own shit. I'm in fucking Russia. I can't chase after Chris anymore and try to chase these fucking weirdos off of him, because it's never any. Like I set up that quickville.us site for him, and I was like, okay, here's what we can do to help you. We can set up like a blog. You can post your art and stuff and get you hooked up with all this shit. And I thought about this. I have a way for him to keep his income. Like I would make it an LLC or something, and then use that to collect income and only pay him what he can legally take without hurting his disability income, so he doesn't lose that. And you can use that money to make sure that he won't be homeless. And as I'm setting this up and stuff, and he starts drifting away, and I lose the thread with him and give up on it, but I still have that email address on my phone. because I would help him with his email and shit and keep him, because people sign him up to fucking spam just constantly, just sign him up to fucking spam. And I still have that email account, and if I open it up right now, like, he still gets email because he has the Christine@quickville.us address pinned on his timeline or something, and his inbox has like literally tens of thousands of messages that are all spam, and I still get email from people like, "Hey Chris, I'm a huge fan, and I'm a sexy lady, and I'm from Japan, and do you want to be friends? I'm also part Sonichu, and I live in the alternate dimension." And it's just every fucking day he gets shit like that, and I get the fucking notifications on my phone. Still, I don't know why I haven't just desynced it at this point.
You know, Dick Masterson's got his own pseudo Chris Chan over on his show, who's appropriately named Kiwi Chris, and it's like this. It's like the same shit's going on over there. Like, they, on their last episode, they had somebody calling in named Yumi, who was pretending to be a woman, who was just like, "Hello, Kiwi Chris. Nice to meet you." It was fucking killing me. But yeah, this shit, oh man. This shit's just happening all over the place.
So now this is a question I can ask the people who would be pretty much leading experts on this. Did he have this idea for the dimensional merge? Was this before or after he got really into the hyper Neptunia shit?
The weirdos who we isolated, because there was a part where we were really trying to get law enforcement to fuck these guys for extorting Chris out of money. And while we were talking to them, one guy came through. He was like a gay boy from Hong Kong or something shit. And he had been like in a bisexual relationship with one of them and had been throughout the process, but he wasn't involved in the actual games with Chris, but he was witness to it. And he was describing that he said that the dimensional merge and the alternate universe shit was not their idea. So I didn't believe them at first. I thought they were all full of shit. But over time, he's become so addicted to his own fantasy that I'm pretty sure he's just completely lost his mind at this point.
So yeah, I also had a really burning question that I don't want to forget before we move on to another subject. Geno, your documentary series is from a very neutral tone. You have like a little bit of humor inserted in some of them, but like usually you try to present this in just the facts and like as straight as you can. But one of the things that I noticed was in like one of your earlier videos when you mentioned Chris's parents, you seem to be like pretty neutral towards Bob, but you seem to be very, very you seem to be very critical of Barb.
Yeah, it's probably a mistake on my part. I definitely did say that she was an abusive person, emotionally abusive person, and she was a hoarder. And I mean, yeah, that could have been better. I definitely admit that.
Well, I mean, like, because a lot of people in a lot of circles that sometimes discuss Chris Chan generally tend to look at Barb as a lot of like her style of parenting as kind of an impetus for what would later lead to a lot of his major behavioral problems. I don't know, and I've heard like some weird things about like whenever they would appear at the court things of their like interactions with each other.
I heard that they were almost behaving like a couple rather than mother and I guess daughter.
Well, that actually ties back in because like the night of the fire, apparently Chris was like cuddling with his mother.
Oh God! What?
Yeah, he has spoons with his mother on the regular, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That is that's some weird Oedipus shit going on there.
I think there was a whole big argument that Barbara demanded that Chris sleep with her, and Bob at the time was really against it, and they had a huge argument about it. Like, no, it's weird. Stop that shit.
Marvin told me that I think even after Bob died, you have to. The reason why nobody likes Barb is because she is a fucking lunatic, and she frequently would pull like self-harm cards, like even when Cole's alive. When Cole is Chris's half brother, Barb is not his mother. Here's proof that there is karma and God's divine wrath. Cole Smith, Bob, Chris's father, is a very successful man who has patents in his name. He was in like biochemistry and developed certain types of rubber hosing for aeronautics. He's like a real engineer who worked for aerospace companies. And he had a wife and he had kids with the wife. Cole Smithy was one of the kids. He cheated on his wife with Barb, and the result of that sin was Christian Weston Chandler, and he ended up shacking up with Barb because his wife left him, and Cole was stuck under his stepmother, who was Barb, who was emotionally abusive. Cole claims that she pointed a gun at him at one point, and like the story for this is bullshit. He described like the bullet ricocheting around the room like the fucking Lincoln magic bullet or something. But
it's a fucking revolver ocelot shit.
Cole has his own like share of problems. But,
yes,
I mean, in some of them they're kind of.
He's kind of like a Maddox. He's like a wannabe Maddox or something. He's just like a pathetic loser. He's like just another loser in New York. If you know what a New York loser is, that's Cole. But Barb,
he's a film critic.
Yes, he's a bad one too. And
oh my God. Let that be a dire warning for all those little thotties out there. Remember, you follow God's path or you end up giving Chris Chan a bath.
Nice. Well, don't even, because Barb, like if anything happened and Barb was upset with it, I'm pretty sure she's threatened to kill herself because she was upset with something. And I'm just imagining like, because I'm pretty sure she's done that with Chris too, where it's like, oh, Chris, my husband's dead and Cole doesn't want anything to do with me, or our family doesn't want anything to do with us, and you're always out at McDonald's and you're always on the computer. Why don't you cuddle up anymore? Like it makes me depressed. I want to kill myself. Like she does that shit with a retarded man who has the mental age. I say that Chris's mental age is usually his age divided by 2, and that's usually right on point. Because right now he's like 36 or something, and he's at that point. Yeah, he's at that point where he's questioning his gender identity and putting on the programmer socks and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. When Chris hit fucking...
He's saying he's going to be about 57 when he realizes he's made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, pretty much. We're getting there. Like when he had the rebellious streak and hit Snyder with the car, I think he was like 34 at the time. It's about 17. It's about right. You know, that's that rebellious streak, fast and loose with the rules.
I did make it out of my teenage years without attempting to commit vehicular homicide, though. Just putting that out there.
Just a pussy. He didn't even run over an emu. Come on now.
They're really fast, man.
Let me read this real quick because we just got a super chat from Colonel J, donated 5 and said, "I said it's not even hot outside." Well, there you go, Colonel J. Should be a little cooler now. The temperatures are stabilizing across the United States now, so yeah, it's okay. It's bearable now.
What did he mean by this?
It was super cold last night, actually, where I was. It was like 58 degrees.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was very pleasant. But I have a question for Josh and Geno about Chris. The last we've seen of Barb, she doesn't seem to be doing very well. She's lost a lot of weight.
Faking it.
You think so?
Her camera appearances where she seems out of it and she gets in front of it and goes, "Oh, we need money because we're gonna be homeless soon," and she just seems completely out of it. From what I understand, when she's not on camera, she acts a lot more coherent. Marvin is 100% that she fakes it because she's very manipulative.
She's lost at least 100 pounds, though.
Oh, she's dying. There's no way that she's not close to death now. She's lost all of her weight. She was called Snorlax at first. There's pictures of her in like bed, where surrounded by garbage, all the shit she buys off fucking QVC. She's sunken into her own her own possessions, like a beanbag chair, and she's nowhere near. She's like a skeleton now.
Now, if I recall right, I remember you saying previously that you think once Barb dies, Chris is either going to be institutionalized or dead within a year.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. What do you think's going to happen to Chris when Barb finally kicks the bucket?
He's fucked. Barb, here's how much Barb loves Chris. You ready? She has taken out multiple loans, reverse mortgages against her home to pay off consumer debt so that she can continue to buy shit from QVC. The house that they live in right now, 14 Branchline Court, has multiple liens against it that are worth more than the actual market value of the house. So the very nanosecond that she is dead, Chris is going to immediately have to declare bankruptcy because he won't be able to continue paying the minimums on those mortgages, and
plus,
they're going to take the house.
I was about to say, technically, wouldn't the house passing to him also count as income, so it would mess with his disability? So I don't think.
No. He's not inheriting anything. I'm pretty sure disability isn't, like, inheritance doesn't count against disability because that's just how it works. But the real issue is just that, he can either not take her estate and allow her estate to go bankrupt, or he can take the estate, but that means also taking the debt. There's no way for him just to secure possession of the house. And you have to remember that right now it's full of garbage. When there was a fire in 2014, January 2014, that destroyed a significant portion of the house, and they didn't have the money to hire a contractor to fix it. So the contractor came in, put up the bare minimum to make it habitable, and the house smells like burned plastic. There's water damage from the firefighters putting out the fire. There's probably mold and shit. There's no fucking way. That house is gone. And the second she's dead, Chris is going to be homeless. And it's like, what happens to Chris then? He's probably not going to be able to sort out rental conditions. And what I was hoping to do with my company idea was to be able to maybe, like, I don't want those fucking find
how
some.
How do we know that she's not dead right now and there's just some Norman Bates shit going on at the moment?
Because Chris hasn't had, like, if she's dead, he's crazy. It's not going to be like some Jason shit where he has his head on a plate and he worships it. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think, yeah, but jeez, that is it's a fucked situation. It really is. I don't know, Geno, what do you think is going to be the future in this case?
I really have no opinion on it. I'm really not knowledgeable on what's happening with Chris now and the situation now. I'm still stuck in 2009.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, 2000. You guys remember 2009? I remember 2009. I was playing Portal 2 and I was playing Team Fortress 2, and the internet wasn't shit. I could still post on the internet and YouTube.
No, I strongly
YouTube was
disagree
good.
with that. The internet was definitely still shit in 2009.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
the
it was the
connection was-
post-Obama
the connection
era.
was shit.
There was
The
more.
connection
There was
was
more the
different.
people
You can
on
say
it
whatever you
rather than
want.
the people administering it. That was the problem.
I've got a question here for Josh from Scam Likely. He donated one and said, question for Josh, who's your favorite recent lolcow?
Oh, geez, that's a hard one. Recent. Jonathan and Eve. Oh, God. Well, it falls into categories. There are people I love to hate, and then there are crazy people. I love crazy people. I have a genuine affection for the mentally deranged. And for mentally deranged, I like a woman called, she changes her name all the fucking time. I don't even know what to refer to her as. She's a crazy schizophrenic lady who makes YouTube videos. And
Is this the one who accuses people of walking past her, of like harassing her and shit?
No. She's like a musician. Like, her name is like Marissa or something, and she eats raw cow liver.
Oh,
because
God.
it's healthier for her or something. She does keto, and she's just crazy. She's legally required not to communicate with her father at all for God knows what reason. But for love to hate Jonathan Yaniv, his life is like on a complete downward spiral right now because all of Vancouver knows he's a pedophile, and he's having no luck swinging his tranny bullshit to get what he wants right now.
Yeah, and Yaniv also has some suspicious connections to Twitter, if I'm correct.
I figured out what that was. From what I've been told, he has a subscription with something called Legal Shield, which will write legal letters for like pennies on the dollar. And what he does to get people banned from Twitter is instead of using the report system, he uses Legal Shield to send cease and desist letters to Twitter and YouTube and stuff.
And I'm
for
guessing
$20.
they just look threatening enough to have them just pull the account without.
Yeah, they see that Jewish last name, they pull the plug. Or whatever you want. Let me knock this shit over for you.
What about you, Geno? Is there any other internet personalities of infamy that interest you besides Chris?
I've been observing Boogie for a while now.
Oh my lord. Yeah, he posted this really weird Twitter thread the other day where it did remind me of Chris because he's talking about how he's depressed and all these
that's
people
every
are,
tweet.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm so depressed and all these people are coming after me and I can't take it anymore, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I love the people, the fans, and he's always doing that shit.
Always, perpetually. Geno, I have a question. Boogie, der Uberwolf 1488 once came on the Ralph Retort way back when.
Okay.
And he said a bunch of shit that got him in trouble. Like, he got fucking raped for the shit he said on the Ralph Retort. But his demeanor was completely changed. He was very serious and very direct. His answers were like super straightforward, and he was completely fearless in his presence, and it was utterly like everybody was taken aback by it. And then when I looked up the Boogie thread because I wanted to see if people were commenting on it, and they were saying that we all got taken advantage of because Boogie's a master manipulator, they said, and we weren't ready for his level of social adaptation to make him one of the cool kids.
That's right. We got pranked hard.
Is that true? Would you say that's an accurate assessment of the Boogie?
It's I have trouble placing what Boogie is really because he seems to change his opinion on life so much. But of course he's definitely not the sterile Boogie of YouTube, and I don't know what kind of crazy messed up shit he's into, but he's definitely a master manipulator, I'd say.
I definitely think that he was just kind of going along to get along and just saying things for effect. But like my favorite part of that was when he came out as an Uberwolf and Josh immediately, without missing a beat, goes, "That's gay. Pick a better one." It was a fucking moment.
Because it was like a character from like Warcraft or something. There was. It was preposterous. Like, that's not even a real animal. That's like some gay shit from a made-up fictional world. But the plus side was that when he started saying "gas the Jews" and his name was Uberwolf, he could be Der Uberwolf 1488.
Christ.
Yeah, he said a lot of really wacky shit. He said a lot of really weird and wacky shit on that stream, but I think part of it was just that Boogie just rolls over whenever somebody's fucking with him to try to get them to just go away. He just leans into whatever somebody's saying about him, and then later he'll like throw a conniption and bitch about it.
Here, I don't think you saw that stream, Geno, but here was the best part of it. He was with this big titty goth GF. I don't know who the fuck she was.
I remember that, but yeah.
But when we were picking on him, basically, Ralph noticed that he was live streaming on Twitch, and we stream sniped him, and everybody started shit posting and posting "Gas the Kikes Race War Now" on his Streamlabs, so that it would start saying that, and he would have to deal with it. And at some point, everybody in chat started talking about this woman who had huge tits. She was like really pale and had black hair, was in black clothes, and she had huge tits and cleavage. And everybody started commenting on her tits. And she gets up at one point, leaves, comes back in 3 minutes later, and she's wearing a jacket. And it's like, motherfucker, we know that you saw our messages and now have to hide the bosom in shame because you got called out on your fucking Twitch thought shit.
Well, didn't Boogie call her like a therapist? Because this This was in the wake of the Better Health.
He called her like a producer or something. It was a very strange title for this woman who was clearly someone he was trying to fuck, like undoubtedly.
Yeah, because this came right on the heels of the divorce becoming public.
Yeah. And what's strange is we all were making fun of him because he paid out more than he was supposed to and stuff, and we're all calling him a cuck for wasting his money. And then he comes on, and he's like, "No, I just want her out out of my life." Like I have money. Right. I have money. I have money I'm willing to burn just to get this bitch out of my fucking life. And he like comes on stream and he says that. And it's like, what the fuck? Who are you? Is this like, are you like a split personality person? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm starting to wonder if Francis might just be an alternate personality of his, not just a character.
What, like a schizophrenic disorder?
Yeah, like a schizophrenic sort of deal.
I can believe it, because that shit, it's like...
He turns on a dime. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's a chameleon. He fits his
that was exactly what I was going to say. I actually felt very similar. Like, I felt like I was a chameleon back in like my teenage years when I was trying to find myself. I definitely did reflect what other people around me were doing and turning into that just to please them. So maybe Boogie's doing the same sort of thing, but he's 45 years old.
But Boogie's doing it for profit though. Boogie is like, oh shit, somebody like doesn't like something that I said. I'm going to change my position on a dime because I don't want it to negatively. Because like, I mean, in a way I can't blame him because he does make decent money. He makes really good money. It's just like you make good money, but you're also like everybody knows that you're just fake as shit.
I hope the irony is not lost on anyone that Boogie, much like Jello, and he has the personality and the physical characteristics of gelatin. This amorphous blob that conforms to whatever container it finds itself in.
We're calling him a ditto. Is Boogie a ditto?
Holy shit! That's fucking brilliant. I think you've nailed it.
Does he keep that 100%. Stupid face? Yeah.
He does have that stupid face. The piggy little eyes and the wide mouth. Well, now it's fucking terrifying when he opens the mouth.
The only difference is that nobody uses Boogie for breeding.
Oh God. Oh God.
That's a deep cut Pokemon joke. I went over the Pokemon people.
Let me cut it deeper. After about 2 minutes of breeding, he would be a shiny Pokemon.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez. Oh. Yeah, that's also Chris did the same thing though. Like that's the major Did he get into My Little Pony before he met Megan, or was it like 100%?
Before he was into My Little Pony when he was like 16. He was playing with My Little Pony as like a young high schooler. Oh, speaking of Megan, guess what Megan's fetish was?
Oh God. Oh jeez.
I know.
Oh.
Pretty sure I know.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Yeah. Take a guess.
I'm gonna say feet.
Nope.
It's always feet.
Gator.
I'm gonna say she was a furry.
Debatable. Did she have a fursona? She had like anime characters and shit. I'm gonna say no. It wasn't furry. Ranbot. Guess.
Oh man, I'm struggling here. I mean, if it wasn't those two, if it wasn't feet, if it wasn't furry.
It should be obvious. I'll give you. How do I give a hint?
Oh,
the next one is gonna be like diaper
feeder,
shit.
It's not a fucking feeder fetish.
No, it's not feeder.
It can't be diaper, or else she would be all into Chris.
Nobody has guessed it. Oh, the World Trade Center's got it. She was a Nazi fetishist.
Really?
She collected Nazi paraphilia. Yes, really. She had Nazi shit in her house.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember that.
That was the thing.
Oh. What is she like up to lately?
Nothing.
I mean, she did recently participate in like 2 interviews about Chris, so she's kind of open to it to an extent.
Flamenco's just like, oh, she's collecting Nazi paraphernalia. Let me slide into those DMs.
No, I'm pretty sure Megan's a lesbian.
No, she's got a boyfriend.
Oh, she got. Oh, she just told that to Chris. Okay.
No. She's like engaged. She's like in a long-term relationship.
Jeez, that's scary to think of.
Why? She was normal.
No, just all these people that are like related to Chris in relationships afterwards. It's just it's weird. To think
I don't think she got into a relationship with somebody she met through Chris. There have been people who met one of the staff people on the forum. One of the older people met somebody through the forum, and they got engaged. There was a love triangle at one point. This is true. One of the former staff members formed a relationship with a random woman on the forum, and he got cucked by Tice from the Deagle Nation stuff.
Really?
Really. I don't think that worked out in the long term, but
That's
that happened.
fucking amazing.
Yes, it is.
Jesus.
Never noticed how there's that really weird parallel between the highly successful and the entirely unsuccessful when it comes to hypersexuality.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was thinking about Tice.
No, what I'm thinking, with all the love triangles, the weird sexual fetishes, the orgies, and all that sort of thing, you're either a Hollywood starlet or you're a 450-pound fucking Nazi fetishist.
Oh, well, with the Hollywood people,
fat, though. At least the last picture back when she was like interacting with Chris, she wasn't fat.
With the Hollywood people, though, it's like the fall of Rome. It's just like a Greek tragedy where all this opulence makes people go crazy. With like people like the weirdos at the bottom, like they're so obsessed with their sexuality, they have no time to develop any marketable skills and shit. But even then, it's like you got people like Jim Sterling and all the furries. Furries make tons of fucking money. They're usually in IT, they're usually in art, they make tons of money from each other. And then they spend all tens of thousands of dollars on furry suits and sex toys and art commissions and shit. Like, I don't know. There's a wide, sexual deviance is not a socioeconomic thing. There are poor sick fucks. There are middle class sick fucks. There are sick fucks in the military. There's upper middle class sick fucks.
Yeah, can confirm the military one. Yep, definitely.
Your truly decadent sick fucks at the top who have like their pedophile islands where they cook children in Moloch chambers and shit.
I want to know what Jim Sterling's like after 2 lines of cocaine now.
Hopefully he gets a heart attack and fucking dies.
Oh yeah, that's probably like a really bad health choice for him. We're gonna speed up your heart rate.
I'll tell you what Jim Sterling does with coke. He gets coke and he goes to the Beau Rivage in Biloxi and he wastes his fucking Patreon dollars at the slot machines.
I thought it was going to be Jim Sterling knows all about coke. He only buys it in 3-liter bottles, so.
No, he does painkillers. That's his vice. Painkillers, Biloxi, and.
So if you're talking about coke, you're talking about Bob Chipman there.
Oh, jeez.
God. So I've got a super chat from Banana Phone. Donated 10 and said, "Ask Josh how the ad program for the site is going."
That was a project that I was working on with somebody, and it got to a completion point, and I was going to leave it up to him to source initial advertisers, and then he became extremely distracted with other problems and other projects, and it's just been stalled ever since. Unfortunately, I guess I could bring it back, but it's one of those things where it's like if you can't see like an immediate return on investment, you can't really excuse dedicating time to it.
Yeah, that's understandable. But if you don't mind, Josh and Geno, we're going to go ahead and start taking some callers. Flamenco's put the Discord link out, so if you guys want to ask Josh and Geno a question about Chris or anything we've talked about, or really anything in general, hop into I guess it's still Ralph's Discord technically, and we'll bring you on the air. I want to go ahead and bring in, because we were talking about the degenerates buying and commissioning art from people. I want to bring in Venom Graphics, who unfortunately has had to deal with these people. Hey, Venom, what's going on? You're on the show.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Josh, what the fuck, man? You promoted this, you promoted the Brave browser, and now this guy's just kind of fucking you over. Did you have any conversation with this guy beforehand, before you started promoting this?
I believe in the concept of the browser.
And did he start making promises that he started backpedaling on now?
No.
No,
we
yeah,
had we had conversation about the very very light conversation like a year ago before Brave reached a point where it started getting wide awareness, and then when I started realizing that the product had advanced to a point where I could immediately profit off of it, I shilled it. And I mean, the amount of money I made off the 1 month is pretty high. It would be nice to be able to continue to make income off the tips from people watching ads who want to contribute to the site, but because of the scare, there's a concept in banking called adverse media. And what it is if anything happens, like banks will shitlist you because they have to be proactive in stopping money laundering. So if there's any mention of your name, your company, and a negative light, these hawks, these adverse media consultancy firms will find this and then shitlist you from all banks everywhere forever. And yeah, like if you're fundraising money for the Christchurch site, if you're fundraising money for the doxing site, that can get you adverse media, which will shut down your entire business, and all $35 million of your investment to this Brave Software Foundation is completely ruined. So I've talked to him about it, and he's still kind of aloof because he has to be careful not to waste the money by saying something stupid or illegal. And from what I get from it, it's just like the site is so contentious that it could cause serious issues for the infrastructure of the site.
Well, I certainly hope this guy hasn't made any money off of you, because that would that would be something worth fucking him over for.
Well, legally speaking, he can't keep the money because there's numerous regulations that say...
Yeah, he would get fucked. He would get fucked by the FEC if he just took that.
Oh, okay.
You can't do that.
That's why when YouTube pulled Ralph's channel, they still had to pay him out for all of the money that he made prior.
This is true. When there was a point where AdSense, if they banned your AdSense account, they would keep the money. Any pending money in that account would be kept. And that went all the way up to the Supreme Court, where they ruled in favor of the plaintiff against Google, and now Google has to pay pending payments if they close your account. So that's the precedent for that.
Venom Graphics' absurdly large username is pushing Geno off the couch.
He's fat.
That's true.
Sorry, Geno. Oh yeah, by the way, Geno, I really like your documentary. It's probably the most... I mean, I wouldn't call it bullying as far as like what it is. It's a straight up documentary. There's no bias or bullying in it whatsoever. It's really good. I hate that your fucking channel got struck for it.
Hey, that's YouTube for you. I mean, I am aware that it isn't bullying. Most people are aware that it's not bullying, but the fact that I'm talking about bullying makes it bullying.
Well, guys, you can go ahead and sunset me. Yeah, and
Punish Graphics. I want to help him out. He's a fantastic artist. Now, if you ever need like any sort of some like concept art or something for anything, talk to this guy. He does fantastic work and can pretty much do whatever you ask.
Oh yeah, I'll hook you up, man.
Really?
Thank you very much, man. I was over the moon. Absolutely over the moon.
But yeah, and congrats on getting the show back together tonight, guys. And it's turning out to be a good show, even without Ralph. And best wishes to him, whatever's going on with him.
Yeah, I hope he gets better soon, whatever he's dealing with. All right, thanks for calling in, Venom Graphics. You have a good night.
You too, guys. Thanks.
Now, I do have to ask, Geno, since you've moved on to Patreon to help support this, has anything like bad happened from you going on Patreon, or have you gotten any hassle from them for the nature of the work that you're doing?
No. My Patreon isn't really all that connected with what I'm doing. I'm kind of bypassing the whole thing by saying, I'm doing these extra things for Patreon awards, and it's really not anything to do with Christian or any other lol cows and stuff like that. It's mostly just music, actually, and I guess credits in the videos as well.
Yeah, because you also you produce music as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought it up on the screen right here. It's patreon.com/Geno Samuel, and it says Geno Samuel is creating music and documentaries. So yeah, he's definitely the primary focus, and this Chris Chan stuff's kind of like a secondary thing, which is smart.
Yeah.
You're actually making about the same amount of money that Chris Chan's making on Patreon.
Oh, really?
I think I took a look at his Patreon today, and he's at like $205 a month.
Well, thank God. It was a lot worse back like last year. I think it was like, I don't know, close to
1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of money because he doesn't meet his fucking obligations. If this dumb motherfucker could do what the fuck he's told to do reliably on a schedule, you would think an autist would love a fucking schedule, but no, motherfucker can't keep any time. And it's just like, look, Chris, you can make fucking money. There are more people who like Chris and would give money to Chris than to me. Like that's just the fact. Here's what you fucking do. You put out one fucking page a week. You make one comic book every like 4 months, and it could be about goddamn anything. It could be about your fucking dimensional merch. Just do something and put it out there, and people will give you fucking money, and you can keep your fucking house when your mom dies. Motherfucker doesn't listen.
I think he's just too busy playing with his weird toys and like because we watched a video today that this like ghost adventure style video they did, and I don't know who these people that are hanging out with him are, but it really seemed like they were kind of taking advantage of him a little bit.
Yeah, they're just stupid fucking kids who treat him like a dog. And I think that's where he's most comfortable, because that's how his mom treated him. His mom treated him like a little retarded dog that relied on her more than a regular child, and so he's just accustomed to that. To being treated like a muse, because his mom, if you ever watch him and his mom interact, it's never like a very doting thing, or it's not like a parently thing. It's just like this woman has this thing that relies on her, and she feels gratified by that. And he seeks out people who are like that as well.
I want to take a moment to say, Pinky Culture donated too and said, "I'm normal compared to these sickos." Well, there you go, Pinky.
No arguments there. No arguments there.
Well, we don't know how, we just don't have enough research yet on Pinky Culture. We don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes on that one. One day, you may be getting discussed around the couch. Because Twisted Graphics brought it up, just before we move on again. So the with the Brave thing, so Ralph once mentioned the Brave browser and the way you can make a little bit of money off the ads.
The BAT, the basic attention tokens.
BAT. And he had the actual verified Gab account publicly talking to him, telling him that, and I think this is a direct quote: "You're better off looking for change in your couch than using this." And so
the payouts,
the Gab guys are really going up. Really don't like
the payouts from the Brave browser. I've used it, and you have to be like it's geo-targeted, so Americans have way more success with the ads than anybody else. And I sometimes get them when I have a proxy running in the U.S. But the payouts were reasonable. Like there were significant enough where 1,000 people using Brave and sending their ad revenue was $2,500 over a month. It was not chump change. It was good money for this program. The reason the Brave people, okay, listen, anything by Gab is shit because it's managed by Andrew Torba, who is a fucking moron. Andrew Torba is the biggest fucking dipshit. I don't know how this idiot ran across money. He's a better salesman than he is anything else. This fucking dipshit. Here's how dumb Andrew Torba is. This dumb motherfucker gets his shit kicked in for Holocaust denial and Nazism on Gab. And he's looking around, he's poking at different providers, hosting providers in the US, trying to find a new host after everything gets shut down after some X massacre number 99. And he gives up. Like, we're in talks. He was in talks with my hosting company, 1776hosting.com. And he just says, fuck it. And he drops all negotiations with all these different providers willing to give him hardware and IP addresses and bandwidth. And he goes to fucking the Like, you motherfucker. You think you're not going to get shit for Holocaust denial in the fucking EU? Are you fucking stupid? How fucking dumb? Did you even look up? Go to Google, you type in Netherlands Holocaust denial, and you'll fucking see that it's on the books. But no, he didn't
isn't
do
it a
that.
fucking crime punishable by jail time there?
Yeah, it's a fucking crime. And I guess, and then he made this tweet: "We had to leave the U.S. to find freedom of speech." Let that sink in. And anybody who uses the term "let that sink in" is sub 50 IQ. That shit drives me up the fucking wall. Let that sink in. Like the profundity of your statement is so gargantuan. I need to sit the fuck back and dwell on it because your IQ just fucking walloped me upside the head. Fuck you, Andrew Torba, you cocksucker. He forks Brave and makes it the same exact fucking thing, except it's green and it handles some fork of Bitcoin. And it has none of the convenience. It has none of the ways for people using it to accrue the currency to send it to publishers. It's fucking garbage, like every goddamn thing he makes.
Now,
I haven't been this glad that I asked someone a question for a long time.
Right? So there's word that Gab is actually going to partially abandon its original code base and just become a fork of Mastodon. What do you think about that, Josh?
Would be the smartest thing he's ever done because that shit is garbage. The fucking Gab site, utterly unusable. Just get rid of it, find something better made by competent people and use that.
Yeah, the other benefit of forking Mastodon is that it'll be open source, so that means that other people can submit code, and it won't be pretty much just Torba and like one other person that are actually working on the website.
Oh yeah, no, Mastodon. Like, here's the thing. Here's the really interesting thing about this new federated shit that's coming about. It's a really good idea. It's a really good idea because, you know, all the people on Twitter who are like, why won't Twitter ban the Nazis? They've already moved to Mastodon. They're so fucking fickle, they can't exist on Twitter. So they made their own bullshit fucking Mastodon nodes where they're doing whatever, and they're banning all the Nazis and shit. And it's like, great, whatever. Who gives a fuck? And I would love if the FCC made like a public Mastodon node themselves. They made their own federated node for this shit and just made it like a thing for U.S. citizens and maybe a different node for federal employees and officials. And there you go. That's your competition. You know, that's your competition to Twitter. And now they have to give a shit about what they're doing with their platform.
Yeah, Brian Stelter in the chat says, Mastodon has good code, but a bad TOS. Yeah, but if you're forking the Mastodon code, then you don't have to give a shit.
Yeah, that's the TOS for the fucking the code of conduct for the actual contributions where you have to be respectful of pronouns and shit. Like you can't avoid that faggot shit in open source code anymore. It's everywhere. If you want to get rid of that shit, learn Chinese. The Chinese don't give a fuck. It's all men.
Yeah, that happened with Linux, actually. Linus Torvalds' daughter apparently like forced him to add that stupid TOS pronoun shit into the.
There was a conspiracy where Linus backtracked several of his commitments that he held for decades against for the Linux distribution, and he went back on it all of a sudden and added this code of conduct bullshit to fucking Linux. And in his statement, people noticed that there were odd characters in his message, and they realized that the characters in the message would come from a word processor like Microsoft Word. And Linus does not use Windows, and does not use closed source software like Microsoft Word. So the speculation was that whoever made these changes and whoever wrote this message was not Linus. And they wrote it on Microsoft Word and pasted it into this form and submitted it. And that was the very subtle way of people figuring out that he wasn't in control of his actions, and nobody knows what really happened or why or who was doing it.
Wow. Far out.
All right, somebody using the username Zidane donated one and said, Gator, you are a knucklehead. Well, thank you very much. I aim to please.
I think that was the real Zidane.
It might have been. So I brought up Torba's tweet here. This is from the official Gab.com account, @GetOnGab on Twitter. Says, this was to Ralph, said, you can get paid more in actual cash taking online surveys versus getting pushed pop-ups all day on Brave, even if you write a bot to surf the web 24/7 to earn BAT. You're better off searching for loose change in your couch, not to mention the massive headache of going from BAT to cash.
You just send it to Uphold. Like it's as simple as converting any crypto to fiat. Andrew Torba, I'm almost certain he's like controlled opposition, because everything he says is just the dumbest shit, and he comes out in opposition of things that are good, and comes out in support of things that are retarded, and it's just like his motive. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just very weird how he's kind of built this containment board, really, for like everybody that gets kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah, it's a quarantine, and I call it the quarantine problem. And I called it the 8chan problem at first, because 8chan was the first example I saw of this, where you take a existing service and you make a alternative that is just for people banned from the existing service, and what you end up with is it's a quarantine, and it's your message, your ideas can't develop, they can't proliferate outside of your realm in these quarantine zones, and I think that's intentional.
Yeah, and I highlighted it, I probably said it at least 2 or 3 times on the streams before, that you were talking about data in society when they first released the alternative influencer network, and you said this is the chart that they're going to be using to kick people off of the social media platforms and force them onto these quarantine websites.
Yeah, have you followed that up and seen how many people are banned based on that chart?
Yeah, it's incredible. Almost everybody that has a direct line between somebody like a Richard Spencer or a David Duke is gone. They're not there anymore. And then there's people who could probably be added to that list but didn't have as high of a profile when they were doing the research, like Ralph. Look what happened to him. Got a story in the Wall Street Journal. His YouTube gets removed almost immediately. He gets kicked off of Streamlabs. All of this stuff that happened. And honestly, I wouldn't really be surprised if part of the stuff going on behind the scenes of Stream Me was because its profile rose a little too high.
Oh no, I think that was just fucking idiots.
Yeah, I'd subscribe to the idiots model.
just idiots being stupid.
I gotta ask, Geno, do you ever fear that some news organization is going to write a piece about you chronicling the life of a mentally challenged autistic man?
No, that really hasn't appeared in my mind yet. I'm not really sure why would it. I hope it's. I hope it won't, because I'm definitely taking a stance at not taking a stance. And will I be part of like a bigger problem? Like, should sites like Kiwi Farms and Quick exist, and should YouTubers like Geno Samuel be allowed to make this sort of stuff? I really don't. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think no matter what, YouTube is moving towards trying to be Hollywood light. They're trying to get all these late night hosts on there. They're promoting them. They've deliberately sabotaged the algorithm so that stuff that you're not even looking for shows up at the top that has no association to whatever you searched for. I think it's just a matter of time before that extends to pretty much everybody else. Pretty soon it's going to be the DNS servers themselves will be filtering certain content. It's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets any better.
Yeah, I'm going to go type Zurius into the search engine on YouTube. It's going to pop up saying, you search for Zurius. Did you mean to search for ContraPoints?
Oh,
Jesus, really?
Got some super chats. Rose donated 3 and said, nice background, guests and actual subjects. Please, even if Ralph comes back, keep doing this show. It's much better. You broke 1.1k live viewers. You are the new shit. Bravo. Well, thank you very much, Rose. I did my best, on short notice with Ralph just kind of vanishing into the ether. Slick Johnson donated 1 and said, you're nothing but a possum face, Null.
Oh my god, what the fuck? I don't want to respond to that.
I don't know.
It's such an opportunity for a dad joke and you let it slide past. Ralph vanishing into the Ethan. That's what you should have gone for.
Oh.
I don't want to poke at him too much, but I remember this was the meanest burn I've ever heard ever, and it wasn't intentional. I was talking to somebody about the Ralph retort, and they said like, "Oh yeah, I watched one and it was really good once, where Jim was on, and I think Harmful Opinions, and Dick Masterson. You guys called up that fucking crazy bitch in L.A. who had like a Smurf vagina from Colloidal Silver." And it's like, yeah, Ralph is the host of that show, right? And I'm just thinking, like, Ralph was passed out drunk that entire show. he was not. He was not in that show. He was asleep. He happened to be broadcasting it, but only through the magic, through the sheer will and pagan magic did we keep the stream up while that was going on, because we had no control over it.
I had completely forgotten that Ralph was passed out drunk a large segment of that stream.
The entire fucking time. He was out, like, all of it.
See, I feel like there was some gems when Ralph just had a little too much, like when he brought CRP on and then immediately shouted at him and kicked him. Just stuff like that that's just legendary.
Well, the great thing is you don't even need to feel bad about that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Should we bring in another caller?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start bringing in some callers. Let me put the Discord link out again in case anybody wants to ask Null or Geno a question here. Let's copy that. All right, I'll leave it to you to pick a caller this time, Flamenco.
All right, let's bring in Carl Benjamin. Carl, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing all right.
So yeah, I just heard you guys talking about Ralph. Still no word from
the
drunk man.
Unfortunately, no. He's tweeted a couple of times. He's posted in the Telegram ever so often, but he really hasn't talked about what's going on. I'm just guessing that he's dealing with the stuff that he's been dealing with and dealing with it badly. So
dealing with the week-long bender he's currently on.
I guess, if I hear anything, I'm definitely been encouraging him to try to like say something or just talk about what's going on. If he's gonna take a break or whatever, to just kind of let everybody know what's going on. But it's kind of been silence, unfortunately.
Yeah. How many of his last 10 tweets have been coherent? I think that finally he put out a coherent tweet today.
There were 5 that weren't misspelled.
I write more coherent sentences than half you moth fuckers.
I have to say, moth fuckers is a pretty funny insult. The people immediately ran with it.
I'd never actually seen images of how moths actually copulate until that thread.
Yeah, it was news. It was news to me.
I thought they were just like fishes. They just like shot it into the ether and magically found each other.
Well, so did I, but apparently they glue their abdomens together, so it was very educational.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I guess I'm gonna have to add a moth emoji to the Discord.
Did you guys talk about the false flag?
What false flag?
The Iranian one? Yeah.
Oh, the Iranian thing. No. Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet, but it's obvious it wasn't Iran. Everybody knows it. I saw Marco Rubio trying to do damage control on Twitter, where he was just like, well, if it wasn't Iran, then who could it possibly be? Who, indeed?
We have very credible evidence.
If you want to get depressed, though, I've got evidence that once again, the normie, the eternal normie, is ruining everything, because while everyone on my Twitter was going, this is absolute horseshit, somebody had linked to a mainstream poll, and even 24 hours after all this stuff, the stuff going on with the captain disputing the account, and that 65% of normies believe that Iran did it because the man in the box said so.
No.
But only 65% buying the narrative is pretty.
They read the credible reports from Israel. Mossad did some analysis, and they determined it was Iran.
Don't forget, this is flying under the radar. Guess what Israel did the exact same time that this whole torpedo drama was going on? They fucking airstruck Gaza again. At the exact, I think within the same fucking hour.
But if you polled the people after 9/11 and asked them who did it, was it Osama bin Laden that did it, or was it Mossad operation, you wouldn't even get 35%. 35% is a pretty high percentage of normies doubting. And I was looking at the Breitbart comments, and it was just all the way down. Not a single person was like had believed it at all. It was all just like Mossad operation, Gulf of Tonkin 2.0, all stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going around.
The Breitbart commenters are not buying it, so that's good.
Like
that's kind of the barometer for the normies.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Rand?
It was on Instagram though. It was the Instagram comments, so it was probably a bit younger audience, less boomer readers.
Yeah, the official U.S. government blue check marks who were putting out the this has been verified. It was definitely Iran. They were getting taken hammer and tongs in their comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're moving to censor as many people off of social media now as possible, because stuff like that, even normal people are being like, I'm pressing X to doubt on this one. And that's starting to scare the power brokers. They're looking at this and they're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and wasn't the Shinzo Abe, the Japanese president or whatever they have there, he was in a meeting with
yes, he was.
Ayatollah.
And the tanker specifically was on its way to Japan.
Yeah, so that's...
And the Japanese owner of the tanker is like, no, it wasn't fucking Iran.
What's the Japanese media like with the tanker?
I have no idea.
I can't read Japanese, so I couldn't tell you.
I don't watch TV, so I don't know.
Ask Ryan Dawson. He'll know.
Well, do you read 2 Channel? Does 2 Channel have an opinion on this?
I don't read that either. I'm really not outside.
You're fucking a white pigoo. You're just wasting fucking space in Japan. What the fuck?
No,
actually, a really good person. Oh, you just beat me to it, you bastard! Yeah, so get like fakes to do it.
What led you to live in Japan, Geno?
I like the culture. I like the history, and those were one of my biggest attractions. And growing up in Lithuania, I felt like I had a bigger connection with the way society worked in Japan, more so than where I lived my entire life in Ireland. Well, most of my life in Ireland.
Wait, Lithuania? You're a Lithuanian or Irish?
I am Lithuanian.
But you were born in Lithuania, but you grew up in Ireland.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Can you speak Lithuanian?
Yeah, I can.
But not Japanese.
I can speak Japanese too, yeah. It's not great, but I can.
Jeez, trilingual.
Well, there you go. Do you have any more questions for Geno, Carl, by any chance?
No, that's everything.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start moving on to other callers, but thank you for calling in, Carl.
Yeah, see ya.
And you know, before we take in a new caller, I think we need to do something. This is a Christian episode. I think we need to ask callers, and we'll go with Josh and Geno too. Who's your favorite Sonichu character?
God damn it.
It's a hard one.
I think we can. I think most of the chat can get behind Magichan. I don't know. Magichan.
I like Magichan.
Magichan is a favorite because Magichan is
surveilling people to make sure they're not engaged in homosexual acts.
Yeah, his concept is creepy. Where it's like, yeah, he's watching everybody all the time. He's basically omniscient, and omnipresent, and omnipowerful. He's basically God. But at the same time, because Chris wanted to give him a sort of cocky attitude to represent his power, he's the only character that constantly disrespects Chris. So he's a huge asshole throughout the comics, just making fun of Chris for fucking up all the time, and that's why he's a crowd favorite.
Well, there you go.
Hey, Geno, what is your favorite Sonichu?
I am also leaning towards Magichan.
All right. Well, let's.
Even though he is too OP.
I don't know if Chris actually keyed in on the fact that Generation 1 Pokemon Psychic was like the most broken type since it didn't have any counters or weaknesses or anything.
You pretty much just had to have ghost types, and I think that was the only way to stop them.
No, that actually doesn't work. One, ghost doesn't have ghost type doesn't actually do super effective damage against psychic, and the only ghost type Pokemon in Gen 1 are weak to psychic because they're also poison types.
That's right. Yeah, it's like the psychic and dragon problem of the original Pokemon games. If you had a dragon and a psychic type, you were basically unstoppable. Yeah, but I think that's enough Pokemon autism.
Yeah.
Not quite yet. I haven't done my favorite.
All right, go ahead, Rand.
I never really got that far into the lore of it. I just want to say I'm fascinated by the depiction of the jerk ops of both the security guard and police variety, and I'm a big fan of how they explain at length about how they're deliberately going out of their way to be a jerk to Chris while they're throwing him out of various premises.
Oh yeah, they're very transparent with their intentions, which is to keep. They're basically cock blockers. They're like, you are never getting laid. You gotta get the fuck out of here. There's no pussy in here for you, Chris. Get the fuck out. And they physically remove him. They're dedicated. Their career is dedicated to.
They wake up in the morning going, "I hope he comes in here today, so I can explain to him at length how we're doing this on purpose."
That red string shit is like a weapon of mass destruction when it comes to women. We gotta fucking hide this technology.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in another caller. Let's see. Xylon's been in there for a while, so this is your 5-second warning that I'm going to go ahead and bring you in now. Xylon, you are on the show. Do you have a question for Geno and Josh about anything we've talked about today?
Not about the topics you've talked about, but since Josh was sort of involved in 8chan, I'm just wondering if you guys have heard that 8chan just recently got hit with a search warrant.
No, it wasn't recently. It was at the end of April because of that guy who the guy who shot the rabbi?
The U.S. synagogue shooter in California, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was a California search warrant requesting permission to seize hardware from NTT Technology in Nevada, which is where NTT Tech is located out of, is I think Reno or something. And it was granted, and it was originally sealed, but it has been unsealed and published recently. So 8chan got hit with a warrant, and it would be interesting to see if they were maintaining their warrant canary during this. I have not looked into it though.
Right. Yeah, that's all I had to say.
All right, well, thank you for coming on to the show, Xylon. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right, the next
we
one.
forgot to ask him if he was a boyfriend-free girl.
You're right. I guess we're gonna have to make sure to ask each of the callers, for Chris's sake. All right, I'm gonna bring in ZT next. And you're muted. Let me give him a second to unmute, but you're on the show. If you've got a take for Geno or Josh, go ahead. Are you there, ZT?
Oh, no.
I believe ZT is muted or having mic trouble, so I'm going to throw him in the post-call for right now. We'll bring him back in. All right, let's bring in this character. I don't think this is actually the real Mundane Matt, but what the hell? Let's see. Person named Mundane Matt that may or may not be the real Matt. You're on the show. What's your take? Do you have anything for Geno or Josh? Any questions? And you're also muted. Guess we'll give him a second.
Well, that's his deal. He's muted. He did say he was never going to speak to us again.
1 second.
Flamenco's going to go tell everybody in the green room that we're going to be bringing in callers, so go ahead and unmute. Well, I'll put him in post-call. We'll bring him back if he can actually get his mic. Mick Shekels, you are on the show. Do you have a take for Josh or Geno?
Thanks for having me on. Just wanted to say I'm really hoping that we get to see what was I gonna say? Yeah, now Wow, I managed to have a little autism moment there. I'm just hoping to get to see Chris. Yeah.
It's the right
I'm
night
just
for
hoping
it.
I get to see Chris Chan go on a shooting rampage in the future.
Oh,
shooting rampage. Here's a related story. I mentioned the gun that Barb shot at Cole Smithy in an act of lunatic violence. It is debated if this gun actually exists, and I consider it the holy relic. And I've offered people money. If you get this gun, Bob's gun, and you obtain it for me, I've actually sent Chris on fetch quests to find this fucking gun for me because I want this fucking gun. If you find me Bob's gun, deliver it unto me because it is mine.
You literally had Chris Chan going around his house trying to find Daddy's gun.
I want that fucking gun.
Holy fucking shit.
Sorry, I just have one last question for you, Josh.
Yeah.
In your eyes, if he was to go on a little Elliot spree, what would be the location he would choose?
Oh God. Oh man, that's hard.
It would have to be the game place.
The game place is shut down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's closed. God,
then it would have to be PVCC. He would have to score with Walsh.
PVCC is a good one, but there are so many places that he's been banned from in recent history that he probably cares more about. Like this is true. He is banned from the nearest Walmart to his house because he kept going to the fucking game section and drawing on Sonic's arms to make them not blue.
Oh, Jesus. Better than shitting in the Walmart.
Let's just pray that Chris Chan doesn't go full Tarrant.
Or if he does, he's got a live stream it.
The thing that we're more worried about this is, like, if the Sonic movie is bad. It's been pushed back. Like, they pushed it back because of that trailer. It's like, oh my goodness, you probably saved a multitude of lives in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie, y'all.
And God forbid Amy Rose shows up in the movie for a single second.
Oh, dear Lord.
Ugh.
Well, with that, I will sunset myself. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks for calling in. Yeah. Oh, man, I had completely forgotten about the abortion that is the fucking Sonic movie. Didn't Chris have a huge rant about that because his arms were the wrong color?
Well, that's what led him to pepper spray a GameStop employee.
Oh God, that's right.
Don't call anyone.
Is that in your documentary, by the way, Geno?
It will be coming up in like part 35 or whatever.
That's
yeah. He's still in 2009. That was like 2017.
You're on part 15 and you're only up to 2009.
I'm gonna be out of 2009 around part 25 maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Good luck with that shit.
Because Geno used to do these like I think a week at a time, but now you're moving to a bi-monthly schedule, right?
Yeah, just basically just to keep myself sane, and not become Chris by living out Chris's life so much.
You should transcribe it into Japanese and share our rich and abundant culture with the Far East.
Oh, gee.
Chris-chan.
Question: how come Chris isn't required to have guardianship?
It is very, very, very difficult to strip away a person's independence in the United States. And you can thank, guess who you can thank? It's a president. Who can you guess?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan got rid of the loony bins. He got rid of the crazy people homes, and now crazy people wander the street with dildos up their ass and dresses.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Reagan is literally responsible for Chris Chan being exposed to the public, or exposing himself to the public, one of the two, possibly both.
At the same time.
It was also Reagan that, when all the Cubans came aboard, basically gave them amnesty and later had to admit that he fucked up and trusted the Democrats to not be shit-eating heels.
Well, that wasn't as much the Cubans as it was the Simpson-Mazzoli Amnesty Act. But he also, I think he also set up the like Cuban amnesty that's like still in effect today. If people from Cuba can boat over here and get onto American soil, they'll get full citizenship.
Unless Janet Reno is your attorney general, in which case that ended poorly.
Well,
you might have to get some of the TRS boys to come on one day to talk about Reagan. They've gone into it before, and it turns out he may well have been being retarded on purpose.
I don't know. He was really fucking senile and like in the grip of dementia in the final years. Getting shot probably didn't help either.
All right, let me go ahead and start bringing some more callers in because we're kind of heading towards the end of the program here. Cedric Blue, you're on the show. Do you have a question or comment for Josh or Geno?
Oh, yeah, I just had a few questions for the Chris Chan expert.
Well, we've got two of them here.
Just go. Get it out. Spit it out.
So was Chris really extorted or coerced into prostitution of any kind, or was that like a bullshit?
They told him things to say that were provocative. I don't think he didn't actually have sex with anybody for money, but they told him like you better get that money for us, Chris. You better if you gotta suck some dick for that money, Chris, you better do it, or we're gonna kill Sonichu. And they made that live stream where he's like, I will prostitute myself for money because I need it to save Sonichu.
Yeah, it's a public humiliation, basically. And then, can Chris utilize these radical trans nonprofits to get money from, or to like help make a living? Like, do you think they'll help him? Because I think that's his next, or it could be his next move for money if he's running out of
trans people hate Chris because they make them look bad. Because when you look at Chris was trans before many of them were, and it's just like you look at Chris and you just see.
It's not a monolith though. Some will like get really mad at you if you refer to him as Chris and not Christine.
No, Chris is fine because it's gender neutral. Because it's short for both. It's if you refer to him as a he or a him.
Yeah.
Or as Chris or Christian.
We've been doing vicariously throughout this stream.
Yeah.
I don't think they really need Chris's help though in making themselves look bad. I mean, he's really not doing that much harm to the community.
They don't want to support him. I think there was something we contacted fucking trans advocacy groups to help him, like people specifically for like mentally disabled LGBT plus.
Was it Trans Lifeline?
No, not Trans Lifeline. And said this is a mentally retarded trans person who is being extorted by fucking people. We know who they are. We know where they live. We have evidence of this. We can prove criminal action, and we need somebody to force the government to do something to prosecute. And none of them replied. Nobody gives a shit about Chris. It's really depressing.
Yeah, that is
I'm just going to
depressing.
be a little bit cynical here and say that I imagine that these trans advocacy groups are more focused on getting people to make
what?
You cut out there, Redbot.
They want to get the transition going.
They're more interested in creating the accident than cleaning up the spill.
Oh, I don't know. I think you know what they all are. They're all fucking slush funds for fucking tranny sociopaths who want money for butt plugs and dresses and shit. They're all scams.
Yeah, so how come Chris can't be part of that? Everyone else, the rest of them are doing it.
Because he doesn't know. He's not a programmer. He doesn't have programmer socks. He's never been in IT.
Wait, doesn't he have a CAD degree?
He does.
Jesus Christ.
He has a computer-aided design degree. His drawing.
I don't think the computer has ever aided him.
That's true. Geno, have you ever seen the designs for his mall? That was like his
the Quickville shopping mall, the final project. Oh yeah, that was great.
I've never seen that before.
Do you remember like the dimensions of shit?
I can't remember the dimensions though. It was a while back.
It was like a shopping mall where the mayor's office is in it. Yeah, because Chris has a very like Chris-centric worldview, so he likes to go to the shopping mall and hang out and look for women. So obviously in Quickville, the mayor's office, where Chris is mayor, is in the shopping mall, so he can hit up the the food mart and get some hamburgers.
No.
Oh, this is part of Sonichu canon.
Yeah, the mayor's office.
Of course, the mayor's office would be right in the middle of his fucking hunting ground.
And not only that, but you know, it's computer-aided design, so it's like a blueprint, and the blueprint metrics are like his office is the size of a football field. Like he does everything just in like meters. So his room is like 20 meters by like 10. It's just like a preposterously designed building that is so abundant in wasted space, and it's a good piece of legacy.
It sounds like a beautiful amalgam of the just absolute batshit insanity and autism that is Chris.
It got him a degree.
That's true. Hey, Cedric, do you have any other takes or anything you want to ask Josh or Geno?
Well, I guess the final one, how long is it till he's homeless? I mean, he's not going to... what income is he getting? That could be any day now.
I think, yeah, when Barb dies, a little bit after. And what's sad is that he's not going to understand, because it's gonna take a couple months. Like Barb's going to die, and the funeral is going to be really messy. But at the same time, he's going to be getting these mortgage bills that he can't pay, and he probably won't even know what they're for or how to pay them. And they're going to pile up, and then after like a couple of months, they're going to start foreclosure proceedings, and he's going to be completely lost in that.
That is the only way it's going to happen. He's literally going to get dragged out of his house by the cops one day.
Yeah, the sheriff or somebody will just, do the eviction, whatever the proceedings.
Still on good terms with any member of his family? Like, no, okay.
No, the only person who could potentially bail his ass out is Rocky. Geno, would you like to? Yeah, would you like to inform people who Rocky is, Geno?
Rocky Shoemaker is Chris Chan's pastoral counselor from church. And he's been, I guess, counseling him and helping him out a lot since 2009, maybe?
He got kicked out of his congregation at some point, and they had a little bit of a falling out, but she's a real enabler and ass patter, and she still maintains contact with him.
Well, wait, is this a different church? Because he's been kicked out of at least one. I don't know if he's been kicked out of a second one.
No,
kicked out of 109 organizations and buildings.
Yeah, he wasn't. I think he was removed from the first church because I think he was hitting on somebody in like the youth group or something.
Ugh.
Like,
did he threaten someone with a knife?
No. An older woman who led, like a 20-year-old woman who led the youth group that he was a part of with like kids as like a participating member, because that's like his mental standing. But yeah, he had to leave that for some reason.
All right, I'm gonna start bringing in some more callers here.
Oh, definitely Viridian Calvin. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, 1 second. All right, there we are.
All right, Viridian, got any questions for Josh or Geno?
Yeah, Onion Wizard was being a fucking spurg earlier in chat when the stream started, screaming Josh was a pedo, and it's like, I'm sure you're tired of it, Josh, because it's...
No, Onion Wizard is like a complete fucking weirdo. My favorite thing with Onion Wizard is when the forum was down briefly for maintenance. I put up a notice saying that the site had been seized by like different governments, and Locale believed him. A guy, Tommy Tudor, a tranny, was like gloating and saying, "I got the Kiwi Farm shut down, and thank God for the Arizona police. We finally got him." While I was doing the maintenance. And Onion Wizard shows up in the chat and is trying to tell him that it's fake and it's just a maintenance page and shit. And thankfully, he had already found out on his own. And we got all we wanted out of it. But Onion Wizard's just like this pathetic fucking hall monitor who would genuinely be better off dead. He has no purpose in life.
Also, Geno, I do admire your dedication to the Christian documentary because goddamn, you are going over his life with possibly the finest tooth comb ever conceived of.
Hey, thanks. Easy, but I'm glad you appreciate it.
Because if you're part 15 and you're still in 2009.
Yeah, 2009 was a very dense year for Christian content.
Year isn't, honestly.
It's like you said, he's probably not going to get to the more recent stuff till like part 35.
Well, just saying, admire your dedication. Keep on keeping on. And I don't know. With Ralph, I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. AA, honestly. Because just goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, he's been through a lot in the last, like, hell, go back 3 years. He's just...
Yeah.
It just seems like he has these boom and bust cycles where he'll bad shit will happen and he'll recover from it, but then more bad shit happens and it just like completely fucks him up. And you know, I hate that this keeps happening to him. I really hope that he's able to turn the corner, that things get good for him again, and that he's able to, you know, just be happy, being himself.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for Viridian. What did you think of the Three Houses play?
Three Houses, it has definitely went from, oh God, it's Persona and Fire Emblem to, wow, this is actually surprising.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's going to be a bit like Genealogy in the second half.
Hey, at least, like we're done with Waifu Simulator. Apparently, that's all I'm glad about.
That is a plus. But I'm going to sunset myself. Thank you. You all have a lovely night.
You too, Viridian. Thanks for calling into the show.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, I do have one last question for Geno. During like some of the early stuff in that, where did the school records come from, like the school paper specifically? Because that was like the one thing in the documentary that I had no idea was even around about his high school life.
Oh, those were courtesy of the trash dumpster diver person who sorted through Chris. Yeah. He sorted through Christian's garbage after the house fire and dug up lots of stuff, including the Manchester papers.
Oh, I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Yeah, he was a guy on the forum, and he literally, after the house fire, went dumpster diving for like a week straight and just stole everything paper that he found.
Well, technically, you're legally allowed to. Well, I don't know about police are legally allowed to root through your garbage. I don't know about private citizens.
No, if it's on the curb, it's public property. The problem is that this was like a bin parked in the driveway. I'm sure it was technically theft because that's not something that the trash people pick up. Those giant bins.
I gotcha.
Yeah, like some of it was dubious. There was some stuff. Speaking of people, he was trolling Chris. This was like in 2013, 2014. This was a long time ago. There was a woman trolling Chris who was a real woman and was impersonating one of his classmates from high school. Because at the time he was having this big kick about a class reunion, like a 10-year class reunion, that he said was basically promised, and he held on to his high school ring and shit. And, obviously when he started on this kick, I knew somebody was going to impersonate a classmate to get to him. And this woman did. And she ended up talking to us and relaying conversations. And she ended up in a relationship with a dumpster diver. And they both left together at one point because she was also like a nudist and posted nudes and then got embarrassed because people made fun of her. So they left.
All right, I got a super chat here from Anon, donated one, and said, there once was a man named Shitrat. It was Lauren he aimed his affections at. David had no stories she could nab, so her pussy he never had, but everyone else did. All right, there you go. Let me go ahead and start bringing on people, because we're kind of winding into the edge of the program, and I want to get ready to open the chest and everything. Citadel, you were live on the show. Do you have a question for Josh or Geno?
Hi, I did not... Hang on.
I guess you weren't ready.
Wait a minute. We might have a winner here. Are you boyfriend free?
Yeah.
Fucking A! We did it, boys!
Are you sure that's not a boy? I'm pretty sure that's it.
I am 100% biologically female. I just have this weird obsession with Christian.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
No.
Hey, I can hook you up.
I was about to say, we've got the two foremost Christian experts on the show.
He wants to trib. He wants to trib with you.
No, I don't want. Oh, God. Somebody sent me the unclip, and I sat there for like a solid minute, just in shock, looking at.
You mean the wound? You mean the
He
wound?
wants.
What am
he
I?
wants. He wants to trib. If you want to
How
know,
has he not died of sepsis?
Okay, Chris has autism, obviously, but what people don't know is that autism is actually a superpower, and it gives you armor. It gives you like having autism like reduces your pain threshold, or increases it, like doubles it. You can you can take you can have a proper tard rage because you don't feel pain. So he got drunk off Long Island iced teas one night and took a box cutter and literally cut a hole in his taint. And
I thought it was a piercing.
Sorry, this is two completely different instances. I forgot. Okay, well, once he did cut a hole in his taint, that healed up fine. But he got a Prince Albert piercing. Is that the one on your taint?
No, that's
Why
on
would
your,
I know?
That's on your dickhead.
Okay, he got a fucking taint piercing, or a gooch piercing. A gooch piercing is the proper term, I think. And he did not properly clean it, and as a result, it became infected and developed a hole, basically, on his taint. And he refused to treat it or go to a doctor because he thought it was turning into a vagina, and he really wanted a vagina. So
it's like some weird metamorphosis.
Yeah, the wound abscess, and people. Like, it took people that were in constant contact with him. It's like, Chris, that's not a vagina. It's a fucking wound.
The woman pretending to be his classmate was ultimately the one that got him to go to a doctor, and also was the one that got the pictures of it.
Ugh.
Oh, no. How did he not die of sepsis? I've known people who died of a blood infection because they literally stabbed their finger. Like, how is he not dead? Is it just that autism? Great.
God loves retards.
Geno, I gotta ask: Are you mentally prepared to deliver in a straight voice the story of Chris Chan's taint piercing?
Well, I've already described what was it, 𝘴𝘯𝘰𝘳 very plainly in a deadpan voice. So I think I can handle this one too.
What, you mean the best cryptocurrency?
Kirk Johnson's anus is modern art, though. It's easy to do.
It's true. There's numerous allusions to that particular work of art throughout the world now.
You know, when he was spreading his asshole for the camera, I guarantee you the thought did not cross his mind that it would become one of the most influential images ever taken.
Describing an entire generation of people on the internet. Oh, man. But, Citadel, you got anything else?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. One for Geno. How does it feel knowing that you've made more episodes of a documentary about Chris Chan than he just made episodes of the comic book?
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I kind of ended up being involved in this whole Chris Chan thing, and I don't know. Is this going to come back to bite me in the ass later on? We'll see.
I don't know. Do you plan on being employed ever again?
He's in Japan. Nobody gives a fuck over there.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
No,
well,
like
not yet.
Japanese people do not give a fuck about the West. Like, if you ever, here's one of the funniest things: if you run anything web related and you get spam and shit, you get like abusive spam messages. Like, usually it's from like India and Pakistan and China, but it's also from Japan, because the Japanese do not ever accept any complaint about anything unless it is in Japanese from a Japanese person. So you can abuse the outside world as much as you want from within Japan. They do not care.
Interesting. Oh.
Got anything else?
I also want to add. Yeah, I got a couple more things to add. I just want to say, I'm not entirely sure when this video took place, but I think Josh would know. When was that video call between Tommy Tudor and Robert Chandler? Because that was the funniest thing I've seen in so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when was that?
Bob was dead. Are you aware? That was the soundboard?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably 2017, 2018.
Wow,
No,
that
I'm
recent.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, Tommy still gets fucked
Alliance.
with all the time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, he does.
We got some more callers, so one more question, then we
You
gotta
can
go.
sunset me.
All
Oh,
right,
okay.
yeah, one more.
You guys just want me here? Or...
Well, we gotta get to the other
questions.
callers.
Yeah.
Oh, the
by the way,
audacity
let
of
in-
women.
Right?
Yeah, I know, we're horrible. I think that Christian might have also predicted the clown world. His dimensional merge is just all of this batshit stuff he's written coming to life.
What world did we merge with? A world of
Pisser.
pain and suffering.
Stein universe.
Oh no.
All right, well, thank you for calling in, Citadel. Don't forget to give Josh your info to give to Chris, because we've
He wants
got
to trib.
He wants to trib
with you.
No. No.
Tell me why.
No.
Girl, my age.
All right. Okay, I see Onion Wizard in the green room. He's normally pretty quick. So, Onion Wizard, do you have anything to say to Josh?
You guys are white knights. Kill yourselves.
All right, there you go.
Sweet as always.
All right, let's bring in Kyler. You're on the show. What's going on? Did we lose? Hey, Josh, you still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Am I still? Yeah.
Hello.
There's Kyler. Hey. Kyler, what's going on?
What's going on, Poncho and Alligator? It's good to hear from you guys again. Am I coming through all right?
Yeah, you sound just fine. What's going on? Got any questions for Geno
cool.
and Josh?
Yeah, I don't know who Geno is, but I'm gonna watch his Christian stuff after this. Sounds interesting. I followed Chris since like 2006 or 7 or so, whenever they first made the ED page. Goes way back.
Well, prepare yourself. It's about 10 hours of content.
My body is ready. I was gonna say for Josh, I'm not sure if you're having like severe money troubles, but I had this get rich quick scheme for you if you're interested.
Oh man, how many jawbreakers are we gonna get from this?
Listen, this isn't some middle of the mall shit, okay? This isn't some pyramid scheme, top level money scheme, whatever the fuck it's called. There's this thing I found out about like 5 years ago. They're called class action lawsuits. And what you do is you look around for them online. There's even a site now where they aggregate them, whatever the word is, aggregate them.
Man.
And what you do... Oh, listen, this gets good. I'm not sure if you know about them, but what you do is you look for them, and then you, like, let's say there's one for like the fucking tuna company pouches. They misweighed the tuna. Now I don't eat tuna, but they don't really need proof. You just tell them I had 10 cans of tuna, and then like a few months later you get a check in the mail for $10 or like a coupon voucher for free tuna. And what you do is you either cash the check, or you sell the voucher for about 80% of the market value to some single mom in middle America. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you work at it long enough, you can make plenty of money. And I think this could be a good venture for both of us.
Hey, out of curiosity, was your mom Jewish?
My mom's father told me one time that our ancestors were Jews that lived in clean caves because they had a door on them, so it's possible. Those were his exact words. We lived in a cave and it was clean because it had a door. So I assume you were hobbits of some kind.
If I'm gonna be in a class action lawsuit, I'm gonna be the fucking defendant. Don't even try with this shit.
Well, you could also I figured out if you message big brands like Frito-Lay and whatever. One time I got a bag of Doritos that's like 1/3 of the way full. So I took a picture of it and I sent to Doritos on Facebook. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit, Doritos?" They're like, "Oh fuck, sorry. What's your address?" I sent them my address. I got 3 shipping.
Did he die?
Yeah, he just died.
His fucking voucher for internet didn't hold up.
Oh, no. All right, we'll bring in Manly Chicken. Manly Chicken, what's going on?
I didn't actually think you guys would fucking pick me up. I thought you were intentionally ignoring me. Fuck.
Nah, man, we're bringing in everybody.
We're listening to fascinating content about how you can play the system.
I got 2 things.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
2 things. 1, you fucking idiots. Cole is Barb's son, not fucking Bob's. Look that shit up. Call yourselves fucking Chris experts.
No, I knew that. I just didn't want to interrupt people.
Okay, I'm here to spread the word of my Lord and Savior, Dayton Hypernova, who is this fucking beautiful male to female transsexual who was constantly oppressed by his family who beats him. And his response to this is to constantly record them. We're constantly recording him harassing and yelling at them and uploading all of that shit to YouTube, and it is amazing. So, like, he has, like, fucking... He has all of these buzzwords that he uses. He has psoriasis, so he claims that he can't work, so he just leeches off his parents in his, like, 30s.
I hear Josh over there like, next harvest will be even better.
Yeah, Josh got pissed when I tried to bring this up.
You kept trying to force me to watch something. Once I get asked like 8 times, I hate it, and I never like that's like the fucking Bitwave people. Like once it hits that threshold, I just hate it. I don't need to look at it.
But I feel this shit, it's ongoing. He constantly uploads shit like every couple days. Like the other night, he uploaded a video where he was yelling at his mom because the mom canceled her credit card because Dayton kept stealing it, or Earl kept stealing it. And he was like, why the fuck are you stealing or did you cancel this thing? I wanted a pizza. She's like, you've been stealing my fucking money for weeks, so we have to keep canceling our credit cards. Like, well, if you didn't pay me only $200 a week, or $20 an hour, or whatever the fuck he's getting paid. He claims he gets paid below minimum wage, but he only does like minor house cleaning shit. So he technically makes like $20 an hour. And it's just amazing. He's got this fucking wrestler brother who's older than him, but also lives at the fucking parents' house with him. It's just this constant storm of madness and insanity. I just wanted to spread awareness.
All right, well, thank you very much, Manly Chicken. You have a good rest of your day. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, likewise.
It's
all right,
really, really sad to see that ugly, ugly stereotype of transsexuals abusing everyone around them while claiming to be the victim.
You know, there was those Stone Toss in his comics. There's a subreddit dedicated to Antifa edits of Stone Toss, and I was browsing through them today, and what I found is like a top edit suggested, like put forward, was the one where it's like A, B, and then C is like retarded, and I think the original is like tits, ass, and then feet. It's like the retarded guy.
I remember that one.
That one's gone big. There's so many.
Yeah, that's a really popular one that gets edited a lot. But the Antifa edit, the Antifa edit of that was A, B. Can you guys stop using this template? It's really ableist and offensive to people who are disabled. This isn't funny. You can't edit this template. And that was like one of the most top rated, like in the history of that subreddit. It had like 6,000 upvotes and was like one of the top 10 suggested edits. It was just this grandstanding, moralizing, anti-fun bullshit. And that's what I think of.
I've seen a lot of those variations. Yeah, they really do actually seem to think it's some sort of massive, defeating them with facts and logic type thing. Insert one of their moral crusades into something.
Yeah, my favorite. It's like anything having to do with two genders. It's like learn your biology. Gender is a spectrum.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drag in Niger Man Double Ocho. You are on the show. Do you have a take for Josh or Geno, or in general? And you're also muted. Let's give him a second to catch up. He might be listening to the stream. Ah, there, you're unmuted. Hey, what's going on?
Well, I just think I don't know, you guys are acting like a bunch of white niggers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't know
really
Sargon
taking
was with us
advantage.
today.
Really taking
Sargon's always
advantage
nice to
of
have.
No, he's
Raph is dead.
You guys are cooking him here. How's he supposed to come back if there's other people running the show?
I mean, if anything, we're keeping the audience entertained in the interim before,
Exactly.
so that when he comes back, he has something to come back to. We're keeping the we're keeping the lights on.
And I think you're just throwing out Jewish lies.
Is it a grand Jewish conspiracy?
It is. It is.
Well, where the fuck is my check? Where the fuck is my check from Mossad?
Yeah, no shit. There's this one guy who keeps saying that I'm like a Mossad agent and I'm doing like anti-intel or co-intel or whatever the fuck. I'm like, where's my fucking money at?
I was about to say, you'd be living the life of luxury out there if you were a
no
Mossad
shit.
agent.
Where's my fucking Santa Monica headquarters for my Kiwi Farms empire bankrolled by Mossad? Like, fuck off with that shit.
That Josh, why are you so scared of Bitwave, man?
Because it's ran by a crazy person. I don't want to send people I like to that
He
site.
is not a crazy person. Okay, he's a very good person. Okay.
The nigga sends the police to random niggas' houses, just
He's a
sleeping
good
off
boy.
a drink.
Okay. Didn't do nothings. Just joined Bitwave.
Is he getting his life together?
Yeah, he is. He's going to church now. He's getting his life
Oh
back.
shit. Oh shit.
You know, as
You
long
got
as
anything
you're
else,
doing
Niger man? Because I'm
dick,
gonna bring
you're
in
good.
last caller.
You guys are a bunch of autists and stop fucking with Ralph.
Well, thank you very much for that. You have a good night.
I gotta ask, Geno, have you ever gotten any like hate mail from like covering something like this?
You mean besides from YouTube, from Susan Wojciak or whatever?
Yeah, besides from Susan.
That's from Susan. No, I actually get more hate for making music rather than the Christian stuff. That's what
Really?
people hate me for. Yeah, like stop your shitty music career. Just get back to Christian. You know?
The music is so that he doesn't like end the thing altogether. I would imagine it's insane. I'm guessing, right?
I mean, music is really my life force. Really, this is the only thing that I can do all day without getting bored, and I've been doing it since I was like 1 or 2. So this music really is my thing, though the Christian stuff, of course, is more popular. And you know, in a way, the Christian stuff made, I guess, people more aware of my music. So that's, I guess, a good thing. But,
All right, I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
am
drag in the last caller real quick. Normie, you are on the show. What's going on? Give your take to Josh or Geno, and/or.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you just fine. Coming in loud and clear.
Okay, great. Where is the Gunt? That's what I want to know. Where did he go?
We have no idea.
So you guys legitimately don't know what
we
happened.
legitimately have absolutely no idea.
What
he
was the
took
deal
something,
where
crossed something, and it fucked him up, and he did that stream, and that's literally all we know.
Yeah, like what was that stream where he was like walking around in beer cans like Ghost for 10 minutes or something? What was that?
Sure you
I
weren't
honestly
just
couldn't
accidentally
tell you.
watching me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been you, except I could hear him randomly saying "fuck" every now and then, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I know that
definitely me
voice."
I just think
So
he's
the
going
Gunt
through some
is
shit.
completely. We just don't know where he went. It's a mystery.
He's
Well, I hope he
posting on
comes back
Twitter.
to-
He's posting on Twitter. He's posting on Telegram ever so often, but he hasn't really been descriptive of what's going on, what's happening in his life. But something's up with him.
Yeah.
Is posting
so
on Twitter a good sign or a bad sign? I can't tell anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
My thing
Probably
is, like, if
bad.
he doesn't want to talk about it, you know, we're not entitled to know about his personal life, but I would hope he would just come in the Discord and be like, "Oh, I'm not going to stream for a week" or something. That would be cool, right?
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all me and Gator both really want at this point is that like just give us an idea of what's going on. If
like I would just want a timetable or something. All right, last thing. You guys did a really good job keeping the show alive, even though the Gunt completely disappeared. Hopefully he will come back to us one day. Thank you.
I hope so. You know, I'm okay at doing show stuff. I have a lot of technical knowledge that I can pull from to do this stuff, but like I think Ralph's kind of the glue that brings people together that you wouldn't expect to show up on a stream together. And that was what he was able to leverage doing the kill stream. You know, I was kind of the color commentator. Zidane was really good at like taking something that Ralph said and like running with it. And all three of us together were really good at like booking guests, talking to people, and just bringing like the strangest of people together on a stream. Like, in what planet would you have Dick Masterson like cracking jokes on Richard Spencer?
Yeah, I sad to think back to like the good old times on YouTube where some nights it would even get up to like 8,000 viewers. Because I've been watching the kill stream since like the Baked Alaska shit more than a year ago. And it's kind of unfortunate, all the deplatforming, and now Ralph's just disappeared and everything. But I'm impressed. It's still a good show tonight. Between you, Flamenco, Rand, and Josh, like all four of you combined your powers to sort of make something that's still worthwhile.
Well, I also got to give credit to Geno, too. He was the one that created the Chris Chan documentary, and the production value is so incredible that I ended up watching like 4 whole episodes of it just yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I have really bad autism. Definitely watch that. I'm aware it exists.
It's like a black hole of autism. But thanks for
I
calling
have
in,
to
Norman.
indulge the autism, man. See you later.
All right, have a good one.
See you, buddy.
And we are finished with the callers. We got them all, folks. We got them all.
We got through all of them. Let me check the super chats real quick. See if there's anything there. Cool, we're caught up on that. But I want to thank you, Josh and Geno, for hopping on the show today. I got to make sure I go ahead and open the chest as well. Let me go ahead and do that now. Do you guys have any final takes?
Everybody likes the chest. I've noticed when I do it with my streams, everybody gets excited for the chest. They gotta get those lemons so that they can throw them back at you. And I always make the joke that it's like the Yang Gang trickle up economy. You gotta give them good so they can get back.
Yeah,
that's how I found out about how that works. Like I had like 12 in the chest. They go, open it. And I'm like, so sure you don't want to just come back later? Like this is a pretty piss poor chest. And I got told, you open the chest so we can give them back to you, retard. I'm like, oh.
You know what's really funny is
that makes sense.
The way that it works is I don't want to get too technical, but if you lock in your Lino points in intervals of 1,000, you get a portion of all transactions on DLive in return. So whenever you spend money, a fraction of that gets sent to and divided between people who have locked in money with the system. So I have 2,000 points taken in.
Is it more towards like the more you lock in?
Yes, it's a concept in cryptocurrency called master nodes. You lock in a certain amount, and you're a part of the system, and you are. It's a proof of stake as opposed to a proof of work that uses a GPU. So you lock in your Lino, you're a proof of stake holder, node owner, and whenever somebody sends money, a portion of that goes to you. So every time a lemon is thrown back, it's actually feed and split up between people, including me, as a stakeholder in the DLive.
I thought it was just a processing fee that they had, which is relatively actually nice compared to like how even Twitch do it. Like,
they take way less. Twitch takes so much; it takes like a third.
Yeah, no, Twitch takes 30%, YouTube takes 30%, DLive takes like 9%, which is.
I think Twitch actually takes up like half. They take like half your fucking money.
And you can't multi-stream on Twitch either. They're like if you're
Twitch is.
If you're getting money on Twitch, then they expect you only stream on Twitch. I think that's actually what got Nick Fuentes.
Dude, fucking Destiny got in trouble for that shit.
Yeah.
It's just like with Destiny. Like, Destiny, you are an undesirable. They do not want a straight white man representing.
I wouldn't be so quick to say that because
I hate to interrupt real quick,
he's
but
getting his name. Yep.
Spanish Inquisition donated $100 and said, "Good job keeping the Ralph retort alive." Well, thank you very much, Spanish Inquisition. I don't feel like I'm worthy of that much of an investment, but I thank you for it anyway, buddy.
Or as he's now also known on DLive, the 1234556.
Really?
Yeah. There is a guy who had a very colorful nickname that got renamed to the 123, and my and Spanish. Spanish
in the chat.
Yeah, there he is. Spanish is a mod in my chat, and he decided to like fuck with him by changing his name to like the 1234556.
That's amazing. Well, thank you very much, Spanish Inquisition. I don't think I am worthy, but I thank you.
And Loudmouth Gaming also donated Ninja Geek.
All right, yeah, Loudmouth Gaming. Thank you very much. But I want to go ahead and take this opportunity before the show ends to shout out to Geno Samuel's channel, Geno Samuel 2.1 on YouTube. That's where he's posted all of his Chris Chan documentaries. And you have another YouTube as well, right, Geno?
I have 3 going at the moment. I mean, there's the original Geno Samuel, which is for my music stuff, and Geno Samuel 3, which is for my documentaries that are not Christian related.
All right, and Josh, madattheinternet.com, as well as dlive.tv, and I believe that's what, Kiwi Farms?
Yes. No relation.
No relation, of course.
And when can we expect to see part 15?
Tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
All
well,
right.
I guess today depends on where you are.
They used to come out on Sundays, but now they come out on Saturdays.
It's Sunday morning for me, and for most people in North America, I guess it's Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also known as 7:30 a.m. my time on a Saturday.
Yeah, we're broadcasting from like 4 different continents. That's pretty impressive tonight.
The magic of the World Wide Web.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go and read everybody that donated Linos. So I'm going to hop out and get ready to play the stream out. But I want to thank you, Josh, and you, Geno, for hopping on the show today. It's been an interesting. I've learned more about Chris in the past 3 hours than I think I ever wanted to know.
Oh, there's so much more. My mind is permanently damaged. It's like a soft brown sponge seeping with knowledge, forbidden knowledge. And Geno, I don't.
Scan you get, see if they can identify the area in your brain. Chris
it's
no
like
understood.
They're gonna
like
find a
Swiss cheese.
Sonichu-shaped tumor on your frontal lobe.
They're gonna find the unclit somewhere in my brain. Just a hole.
Jesus Christ! All right.
Geno
Thank
has
you
not
guys for hopping
obtained
on.
the level, but he'll get there soon on
I'll
episode 35.
Now, Geno, I just have you done a rendition of "So Need to Find a Q"?
But I got it. I've done a brief rendition of it on one of my music streams. Yeah.
Can you link that? Because I think that would be perfect to play us out.
I'm pretty sure that's gone by now.
Well, I do have a
whatever.
clip, a Chris clip to play us out with. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop out, and I'm gonna go ahead and read all of these Linos. So, but thank you guys for hopping on the show today.
Nope, take it easy.
Yep.
See you, boys.
All right. Let's go to the large TV box now, and let's go through all of these Linos. This is going to take a while to scroll down, so I'm just going to kind of keep talking while I get back to where it all started. Jesus Christ, this is going to take a little while, but I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and there is the 14th. All right. So Spencer394, thank you very much. Patrick's Arcade Outpost, Will Be 10091, The Human Horror, Beetlejuice, Brock Rockhard, Fake News Anchor. Let's see. Next one is Weef Bellington, Drumboy02, Ricky Champagne, Lion7, Bud Spencer, Wondrick, S-Guard1, Greed3, Durluanger Fan 69, Orchid, Marcellus, Strigoyam, Marcellus again, Poof, Gunty Kong, Purgeall Goblins, Medicare Fembot, Mad Kimsit 84, Four Roses, Jeez He's Tall, Onion Wizard, Twisted Graphics, Soilless Matt, see Gas and Crass, Subterranean Jack, Spooper Thunder Dragon, Erver, Another Nobody 13, Stranger, Biological, let's see, Detective Bruzo, King A92, YT Scientist, Anonymong, Sordid Sentinel, well, la di frickin' da, Chex Mix is best, and Tapper7. And there's a lot more people donating Lena, so I'm gonna have to refresh it again and try to get through as many of these as humanly possible. And this will be the cutoff. Let's see. A Helpful Friend, The Bone Zone, and Line 7 again. I want to thank everybody for the massive Lino donations. We've got Crypto Phalangist with 14, Gunty Kong with 14, Will Be 191 with 27, Durluanger Fan 69 with 43, Wondrick with 100, Drumboy02 with 123, Spencer 394 with 197, Arcade Outpost with 200. I believe that is see, Mad. I think it's Mad Kimsit. I hate how it cuts that. Yeah, Mad Kimsit 84, and then Loudmouth Gaming with the 1K. Thank you guys very much. I'm gonna play us out with a little Chris Chan video that Brian Stelter sent me. So you can thank him for this particular video. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And our next show will be Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a good one, everybody. Give me a second to pop this video up. And there we are. See you guys next time. I'm gonna pop in here real quick and also thank Red Ice TV. I see them in the chat. DLive.tv/Red Ice TV. They do a lot of good work there.
Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon the fiery steed? Late at night I toss and turn, I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be short, it's gotta be soon, and he's gotta be larger than life. So after midnight in the wildest fantasy, somewhere just beyond my reach, there's someone reaching back for me. Racing on the thunder and rising with the heat. It's gonna take a Superman to sweep me off my feet. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be short and it's gotta be soon and he's gotta be larger than life. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, guys, I'm going to be streaming at dlive.tv/Flamenco, and I'm going to be opening up a 1.4K Lino chest, so come and get your free lemons.
Yeah, and I am Alkanaut on DLive. Please stop going to the Rambot 2020 channel and subscribing. It really hurts me every time I go and look at the dead channel. I can't use it anymore, and more people have fucking subscribed to it. Stop doing that and subscribe to Alkanaut instead.
I would swear that there's someone somewhere watching me. Through the wind and the chill and the rain and the storm and the flood, I can feel his approach like the fire in my blood. Fire in my blood. And a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be short and it's gotta be soon and he's gotta be larger than life. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the the morning light. He's gotta be short, and it's gotta be soon, and he's gotta be larger than life. Yeah, hero. Hold out for a hero till the end of the night.